Focus, aim, ready. Focus, aim, ready. Speed up in the race, fall back, no chase. Turn up with the bass, gotta level up your game. Lock in for the fight, target inside. A knife or an eye, gotta level to the sky. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. I do what I want and I'm breaking through. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. Got nothing to lose and I'm coming for you. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. I do what I want and I'm breaking through. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. I pull the trigger. Speed up in a race, fall back, no chase. Turn up with the bass, gotta level up your game. Lock in for the fight, target inside. A knife or an eye, gotta level to the sky. I dream bigger, that 10 figure. My aim is quicker, I pull the trigger. I dream bigger, that 10 figure. My aim is quicker, I pull the trigger. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. I do what I want and I'm breaking through. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. Got nothing to lose and I'm coming for you. I'm bulletproof, I'm bulletproof. I do what I want and I'm
Well done, Cheddar. You free!
Quite a show. Why waste your talent? Ever thought about becoming a Mamba?
Double commissions as we agreed. As for your friendly invite, I'll let you know whenever you like it.
Okay guys, we did it. Now it's time to break into the Telosium generator room.
Telosium, huh? The powerful and unstable energy we need.
I must say, seems like a trap.
Not just seems. Definitely is.
And we're going in like this?
Of course. We need energy.
And I'm not in the mood to recharge in an outlet.
Well done. Was easier than we thought.
Every time you open your mouth, something bad happens.
Ouch. That hurt. And remember, this mouth is ours. Do you know who the cowboy is?
Not a clue.
In any case, we agree that he deserves our best treatment, right? we'll have to agree. You gave us the best gift of all!
Shiro, where the heck have you been?
Sorry, boss. Training overran.
Training? You're a delivery boy. And I've got a code red job for you. Package incoming.
No way. Claw? I wish I could fight like him.
Stop dreaming, kid, and get moving. My client isn't the only one who wants that package.
Motion through the wasteland. Know that we ain't playing, we just sticking to the game plan. You can call it hunger every morning, gotta break fast. Even though I'm closing on focus on the baselands. They call me a legend in the making, but I don't need the praises. I know life is what you make it. My name ain't for conversation, I'm a legend in the making. But I don't need the title, stay ahead of all my rivals. I'm just learning from my idols. They say life is what you make it, so guess what I'm saying, bro? Better keep your guard around the crown, I can't take it home.
Scent of uncertainty in the air. I love it! Let's go! We relish making decisions. We delight in making our opinions count! And now that I'm in control, this game is in our hands. So, it's your call.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is a Free Fire World Series USA 2026 Summer, Day 2 of the group stages. The opening matches have set the tone, but today, the heat only gets higher. Every move could tell the difference if you are rising or you will be left behind. But on this, no one will be left behind. I'm Lieutenant General Garcia, joined by my brother, the Masashio AJ, and we will be joining you all throughout the day.
Another beautiful day, and yes, things are getting a little hotter in here. Somebody's about to get cooked out there, Neptune, for sure. Every day we see some squads getting cooked down at the bottom. It's all about rising to the top. It's all about surviving this stage. We have got too many squads. We want to thin the herd down just a tad bit. So the squads who are at the very bottom, they just need to make sure the bottom 6 is not as low as they go. They have to rise slightly higher than that. 7 and above is absolutely great. That's where they want to stay away from. And of course, we have got the heavy hitters who are at the top of the leaderboard as well, like Zeus Esports, who just wants to show off all the time, right? They want to walk away with 3 booyahs a day if possible. You gotta love it. The action has been very consistent from them, but they've already lost to teams like Miyako once on a champion rush stage. They haven't been able to guarantee a booyah when they really want one. And I think that's something that the teams really need to start focusing on, right? Because we have seen what the USA is good at. Managing to pull away all of these numbers through these eliminations on the battlefield seems to be an easy job for many of these squads out there. But guaranteeing the booyah is something that we haven't seen any team consistently do. In fact, through 6 games yesterday, we had 6 individual squads whacking the booyah.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, it's more of finding that final circle and grabbing booyah for yourself in preparation for the grand final. So if like teams like Zeus Esports, even Celtic GG or Celtic Gaming, wherein they have the experience already, they have the history, all they have to do is refine that to be able to prepare for the grand final. Because it's easy enough, top 18, they will be able to achieve. they can leave that to the new bloods that has been introduced in this competition. But I'm saying that it's easier said than done for most of the teams, even for some of the teams that has been invited for this season. Cartel Sur is one, and I don't know, there's still a few more changes that need to be done for their squad, but again, they're not worried because they know that they can bring in the fire.
Absolutely, man. The brilliant thing is today, everybody will be in play. Yesterday, though, a few squads stood out, and like you mentioned, one of them, Celtic GG, and the other one was Stella Gaming. So Stella Esports, the way they climbed the leaderboard, I think very consistent with their positioning and consistently finding that final circle as well. The only problem is the eliminations don't always go their way. Very aggressive, but also a team that doesn't manage to find those big numbers back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate that we don't see those aggression or those momentum really sticking to a team right now. It's always shifting, and it's good though. In the storyline in this region, it's good that it's shifting. It means that the other region has different plans, different approach for every Booyah being taken, and this is where we see that challenge being fixed, especially on the second day where they have the strategy already being seen by a lot of teams. But again, Zeus Esports, one of those teams that was really deadly. Even in the exit, they can still go for those elimination, and I'm still looking forward to how the other teams can work around this Zeus Esports squad.
Yeah, mechanical supremacy, right? That's exactly what Zeus Esports stands for. They are absolutely phenomenal when it comes to those close-range combat. The M590s have been a big boon to this squad ever since it was introduced. And more importantly, it's the enhanced hammer. You can see the prioritization, making sure that Gaviota is always well-equipped out there. So the backup from the team and how they're looking at the current meta to dominate out there through firepower is definitely looking positive as opposed to the past seasons. But, you know, Zeus were obviously very active all throughout these circles. There were a few other squads that did manage to put up a fight as well, like Shadow 7, you know, consistently getting in the faces of these squads. But most of the time, they walked away as the ones who got well, annihilated. I'm looking for that to change today, Neptune.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's the current format that we have right now, because they only got to play 3 games within the day. And if they're a team who needs to warm up even longer, then that would be difficult. But Shadow 7, I was similar to that as you. I'm surprised of their performance. They're not even bringing in the double-digit numbers consistently out that. So only 7 points in the first round, 11 in the second, and then 0 on the last. So it's just unfortunate that we don't see, especially Sanchez 7, bringing in the snipes on them. But I don't know. Probably it's a threat of the invited teams. Probably it's just a mix of the groupings that they need to work on. But we'll have to find out if they can bring the numbers on the leaderboard. But speaking of leaderboard, we're going to have the leaderboard with us right in a bit. And we're going to take a recap of what happened and how it's going to turn up for the teams.
Absolutely, man. And like we mentioned earlier on, Zeus Esports was at the top. And I realized that we need to make this clarification, right? When we have some assessments, for example, I said Stella Esports is not too great on the numbers. You have to understand, we're looking at 24 squads. So we're looking at this leaderboard in 2 different segments, right? We're looking at the top 12, and then we're looking at the bottom 12. Bottom 12 is going to be assessed in a different way. Top 12 is going to be assessed in a totally different way. As far as Stella Esports is concerned, they're a squad that deserves to be in the top 12 based on how they're playing out there. But if you want to compare them up against Zeus Esports, Celtic Gaming, ZT, there's a very big difference in consistency, right? And then, of course, on the right-hand side, this is going to be the crucial part of this current stage because the top 12, they're not going to get eliminated. But on the right-hand side, those teams at the bottom, they really have to watch out, right? They've been punished in the 3 games, are barely able to walk away with a consistent tenor. And even the 10 is asking for very little.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that they need to change real quick right now. They need to pull away from those gaps or from those close gaps that they have within teams, especially in the bottom half. But why are they doing so? Because they want to be part of the top 12 towards grand finals. The top 12 will be getting pieces of the pie. Out of the total $35,000 that we had in the mix, most of them will be going to the rankings. But we also have the MVP that will get 1,500. We have a total of 2,000 for the most elimination. I think the first bounty has already been grabbed by Zeus from yesterday, and also 500 for the most damage overall. So I'm really looking forward to which team is going to beat Zeus Esports, not only in the numbers but also in the day, to be able to get that $375 for themselves.
Absolutely, man. And, this is what it's all about at the end of the day. Yes, you want to go out there, you want to prove to the world that you can play a good game of Free Fire, but we are here to make sure we set up a career for ourselves in the world of esports. We want that money. We want the money on the table. We got to put some food on the table eventually as we grow up. And these squads, obviously, these kids are looking to head in that direction, right? A lot of youngsters out there want to make this a career. Is it going to be sustainable? The way it's looking for this region right now, it's definitely looking sustainable, man. This year, Esports World Cup at Paris, I cannot wait to see the action there. I can't wait to see what the representative from this region can do on the global stage. Because within this lobby itself, Neptune, we have said there's a lot of eliminations, but sometimes when you step out of your region and then you bump into those monsters, you really get put in a certain category. Where is that category for MiaCorp?
Yeah, I do agree. I guess this is a time for them, especially in group stages we're in. I think it's easy enough for MiaCorp to be able to get to the top 18, to get to the top 12, and this group stages can be a training ground for them. They can pick up any pages of the book from whatever region, Southeast Asia, Latam, Brazil, or whatever region, and then try that from themselves. They have 3 instances per day, so there's a lot of combination that they can try right now, and they can do it right here, right now, before they get into EWC. But before we present more of the data that MiaCorp needs to be done, let's reintroduce the teams right now. And again, there's 24 teams divided into 4 groups of 6, and we started off with Group A and B yesterday. MiaCorp, Flash, Celtic Gaming, ZMF, Fisher Tiger, QE, and then Group B we have INB Esports, TCT Arrow, Team ZT. We have True Reapers, Round 1, and Stellar Esports. Now for Group C we have Zeus Esports, we have Cartel Sword, Deltas Esports, 1NT Esports, Shadow 7, 90 Carry, and for Group D we have Crazy Minds, O1 Esports, Ruthless, DZ Esports, Nova Esports, as well as Royal Tigers.
Many of the Group C and D squads are down a little bit too low on the leaderboard at this point of time. Of course, they still do have some titans as well, right? Zeus Esports is out of Group C. 90 Piketty is in a very good spot after the 3 games. But like you rightfully pointed out, Neptune, it's only been 3 games, right? So we need more matches in here. We need more data. We need more stats. I think yesterday could have just been like first day jitters on this stage. Maybe they were a little bit nervous. And obviously we saw so much of chaos because multiple hot drops. And today, those hot drops, man, I want them to change, but it's a totally different group combination, right? So you may be able to avoid 5 squads for sure. But if you technically did your homework, you should be able to know if or not you need to be worried about your drop spot. And if you're a squad that just is not finding those eliminations early, then just stay away. There are definitely spots on each and every single map where nobody wants to go to, right? Mode House, very rare. So you just got to figure out spots like that and get to the looting a little early before you get in these engagements.
Yeah, and that's one thing now. I mean, there's a few things that they need to work with right now. You were mentioning about the hot spots or the drop spots, but the approach they have on each drop. So if they want to be safe, regardless of any hot drop that will be happening, that split from that flight would be essential. Not too far, but close enough for them to be able to get back into the battle if needed. But looting phase is very crucial. Wherein you can go for a 2-2 split easy. Your 2 teammates can be taken down, but later on you will be able to recover. But let's see if that would work right now. It's a good thing on a match schedule we have Kalahari from beginning, because judging from the rest of the maps, the similar tactics would be given out on Bermuda, Purgatory, as well as Nextera. Let's include Solar in there as well.
Okay, Kalahari is just one place where we don't have a lot of compounds to play with, right? So you're probably going to find a super hot drop fairly early on. Shrines might be that spot where it's not super popular, but you do see some teams dropping towards the edges as well because of how deadly Kalahari can be at the very start itself. So, I mean, one good way to also avoid some of these heated engagements is to bring that quota with you. Aurora Vision definitely helps you, but, you know, in very limited situations at the same time, because we have these situations where you want to avoid some engagement, and if you want to get sometimes a little aggressive, the Aurora Vision helps you out in the opposite way as well.
Yeah, I do agree. There's a lot of changes that can be done with the current meta, or if they want to use that with the current meta. But I do agree, Aurora Vision brings in a lot, especially in the drop. But there might be a few more misses that they can get if they try to get away from what most of the teams has been going. I'm not going about just USA, but the other teams from the other region. They need to go with the current meta, make a few adjustments, practically with the passives, but they can go with other skills that would benefit them in the long run. But I do agree with you. If you need that on the early parts wherein you have equal footing in terms of weapon, additional info would help you with that Aurora Vision.
Absolutely, man. So as we gear up for this very first match of the day. Again, it's going to be at Kalahari. We want to heat things up a tad bit here. Yesterday, things did get pretty hot. Not everybody was flying through the battlefield victorious with the big numbers. But one team that was called Zeus Esports will be in participation in this very first game. That might just be a tad bit fun. Cartel Sur in the house as well. Cartel Sur yesterday looked like they weren't so sure of themselves.
Yeah, they are cartel unsure at that point. Let's see if they'll be able to correct that this time around. But I do agree, this time we will be having first 3 games, Group B and C, and let's see how they're going to play it out. Shadow 7 going against ZT. This would be hot because Shadow 7 is one of those teams that we expect to be rocking it from the first day, but they didn't do it as much from yesterday. But let's see if this change of pace, this change of day will help them, as one of the players from ZT has already been eliminated. Going into Cardinal Sur, they will be going against a GCT Arrow. Now, it's good that they divided this area of confinement, split it up into 2, and they just covered the western part. But they need to get more loots in preparation. It's good that they have a pressure, the bringing in against GCT.
Yeah, unlike the long pass Free Fire now, you do get to manage a little bit of your fate on the drop because, you know, not a lot of mobility, but you still do get to aim exactly where you want to move. And just simple communication, just having eyes on other squads that are parachuting in together with you can kind of get you to a spot where you don't really have to slug it out so early on, right? Depending on those mini Uzis. But we have, of course, seen squads force the issue in that same way. Kenny's going to get caught out here. 90 Piketty Esports out in the open deltas, catching them. So one per squad. INV out of nowhere is catching strays in this battle. Emmy King getting the job done with the card. And my goodness me, I don't think INV expected that. Deltas, there he is! 90 Piketty Esports, they are spread out and they are just finding so many other squads who have just dropped the ball in terms of finding decent spots to hide away at.
Yeah, I do agree. But one thing that we've seen from 90 Piketty, the moment that they have information or experience in one of the games, especially within the same group, they are planning every approach.
Oh, man.
And right now, Cardinal Sur,
still unsure.
We are still unsure. Definitely that GG doesn't help them.
No,
There's a GG for Cardinal Sur right now in game number 1.
We gotta throw a WP right behind that. Unfortunate for Cartel Sur. I mean, we used to love this squad, right? Very spunky out there on the battlefield, but they ran out of spunk clearly in this season. We're still waiting for the rise of Cartel Sur, but very clearly the other teams have also risen to the occasion in terms of how they're rotating out there. GCT Arrow looking for a stronger day today because they're actually a very good squad when it comes to the eliminations, engagements. They're a solid team, but they just were so unlucky with the rotations yesterday.
And hopefully they will do it better this time around. But again, elimination is not getting away from them, as Team Reapers or True Reapers will try to take them down. But Goliath right now, 3 men strong from True Reapers. beating him down, and there goes the second player out of GC Taro being taken out. Now it's getting tough right now. True Reapers is now living up to the name with 2 elimination, but there's also a vending machine in here that they can take. But Pilon, nowhere for him to go away, and the UAV has been released by the True Reapers. It's a good thing that he's far away on the other side, so there's little chance of him being spotted.
That's a very interesting move from the GCT Arrow player. He was trapped inside. He had a glue wall, and then he shot his own glue wall, took it down so that his opponents could take him out. In fact, the exact opposite should have happened because he had a Mag 7. He should have just waited for them to shoot down his glue wall and then take them out. He had the better weapon, obviously outnumbered, but, you know, sometimes you just panic. Stellar Gaming now up against round 1. And pulled a lot of jokes on this team's name so far, but they're not too bad.
Yeah.
Do well in round 1s, round 3s. Question is, can they recover from the day that they had yesterday? Because 3 rounds and it wasn't great.
Yeah, well, let's see though. Let's see. I mean, round 1, there's a lot of things that need to be done. GCT Arrow. I guess that hit list did work, and there's no way out. I mean, you're going solo. The hit list is on you, and you can be tracked. Even if you can track your opponents, but you have a full squad of True Reapers chasing you down. So all they have to do is box you out, and it's done with. So, well, unfortunate for GCT Arrow, they will not be flinging out of this fight with high points. But let's see. Later on, they might be able to do it. As we take a look at round 1 right now in Stone Ridge, just keeping safe. No pressure at all. But on the other side, it's Shadow 7 who felt a few of those damage being dealt against them. Now, they will be dealing with INV, and Nine Piketty is not here anymore, so they can focus more on the final player of INV.
Yeah, I think Lowe's trying to get to the vending machine. But he doesn't really need to force the issue here. Another buddy of his has already gotten there to the revival. And the squad's back in. They're calling for backup. Misa Goat is going to be pressured back. And that's the coda. Risk of exposure due to the Aurora Vision. Misa Goat losing it. Timely manner, but Low will be the one to punish with the M590. Shadow 7 making the mistake to step on up front to take this fight, but Shrine's the perfect place to pull out the lightning zone. INV executed this perfectly. Although they don't have all of their players here, they have the extra advantage to scare away the players of Shadow 7 with all of those lightning strikes. And Misa Goat can't catch a breath.
Well, it is getting tough right now for Shadow 7. Again, a similar story that's happening from yesterday. They let go of the vending machine that they were guarding quite clearly. They didn't know that it's just a couple of players. They could have go for the flank and shut them down, but how can you do it if Low is going on a high right now? And here comes Misa Goat back in play, but doesn't have a weapon to beat them down. And one by one, Shadow 7 is being brought into shadow. This might be the end for the squad.
Oh man, this is unfortunate. I think the final revival, the player did, the player did manage to back away. Sanchez 7 wasn't in that equation, so Shadow 7 hanging on for the dear lives. ZT on the other hand, bumping into team round 1. In this first round, Brian down on the ground, the Winchester straight to the head.
Now into stealth mode.
Recovery is instant, and Medina says, stealth bites, I am out of here. As Young King now gets sprayed down as well. Team ZT calling to bail the command post. And Kane trying to get away as quickly as possible. Round 1 not looking like they are geared to chase him just yet. And Stella GG on the other hand, Garcia looking for one as Chris rotates with the MP40. The rest of the players right outside, taking the fight to them. True Reapers who barely reaped anything yesterday. And Rage X with the grenades in hand will get a double after getting knocked down. Absolute beauty. Could have been a little faster.
Perfectly cooked nade out there. That gives more chance for True Reapers to really reap a lot. But will they be able to confirm this? Shooter right now going in for that flank. And there goes the shot. Unfortunately, it doesn't go for the head. and he might be taken down as he goes for that execution. But the deed has been done. Points has been gathered already, and the rescue will come later as they try to go in for that revive. But I think Stellar Gaming will be aiming to go for that vending machine, trying to beat them down. But Skane has been spotted, so it's one more point for True Reapers. But do they have enough to go for the revive for the few remaining players?
Well, this man, he's scrambling around looking for an opportunity to pick up some extra coins. Coin machine right up at the top will give him enough to bring back one survivor. But downstairs, the rest of them have gathered. And Lex doesn't know that. He's like, oopsie! Walked right into that one. Still gets blacked out on the ground, but Garcia's there to sort him out with the Trogon. Listen for footsteps, son. Just walked right into that one.
Now I'm getting your point about that Aurora Vision on that Chrono, on the Coda. So if you have that Aurora Vision, you know that you've been chased. There's a lot of shots that is coming from the outside of Santa Catarina. Then you have probably can spot out the two players and back away a little bit, time it well, wherein that first shot will be follow-up onto the other guy, and you will be able to clutch that as well to revive your teammates. But there's still more that we can see from True Reapers. They did manage to go for one revive before going down, but for 90 Piketty, they are on fire right now. Earlier, they were shooting at Shadow 7 and then INV, but unfortunately a couple of their players has been knocked down, so they were forced to move into Refinery. But Farox, let's see if he will be Nerox, because there goes McLovin in his sights, but no takedown just yet. It's Darius who managed to put him down, and Farox is still alive out of Deltas.
Oh, fantastic here. True Reapers right back in here as a full squad. Triple revival coming on through from one of their players, Deltas. Need one more. Vending machines right there. They called out for the lightning zone as well, so a great big advantage up against 90 Piketty Esports. NA is going to be very annoying. Car 98 AWM could take him off of his perch, and Pocosin might just be looking to do exactly that. Does he have the right gun though? Charge Buster, totally wrong gun.
Yeah, I mean, it can charge, but it doesn't bust that long, with that range. So let's see, Deltas right now. 2 elimination out of some of the players from 9. Get a shot from behind him, King. Here comes the glue wall UAV, fortify that so that he can recover just a little bit. And also wait for backup, but I don't think backup will be coming in. Now, here comes Farox, goes for the shot, only half an HP, and Annie is the one who managed to break down Pocosin. Now, Farox is trying to defend himself, and Annie doesn't even have any clear shot, but Deltas will be annihilated otherwise.
Yeah, they had a chance and they blew it. Even towards the very end, saw a player running straight to the vending machine to get a revival, and then realizing that he was dead broke. There was no one he could revive. He just
only 100.
Only 100, yes. So, like I told you, Neptune, we are looking at, 2 very different leaderboards mashed into one, 24 squads. There's going to be a little bit of difference in how the game is executed out here. For example, Team ZT, they are one of the better ones, but still finding a little bit of a rough sort of trajectory in this game, climbing up the leaderboard, because they can't seem to be as consistent as we usually see them out there. First game didn't really go their way. Second match, still no eliminations yet. I think they learned from the first one.
I mean, it's tough. They really need to make some change, Team ZD, especially with the groupings that we have right now. The rotation will throw you off guard if you're only planning it one-dimensionally. For INV, 2 players already on the ground. They were that aggressive, especially Low and Erica. But Chrono with Minor, well, I hope Minor will turn into Major right now, but with only a few HP. Let's see if he'll be able to recover and move away. He's being shot at, but I don't think it's only round 1 who have them on their sides, but they need to move Launchpad or anything else. He will need to use that for him to get into the next phase.
Chrono, Grand Theft Auto at this point of time, he's just looking for a vending machine, but again, another man who's out there dead broke. Probably has to earn something before he can bring his buddies back or hit some of those coin machines. UAV sent out. 90 Piketty Esports should be able to scan out True Reapers here. STG with a player on the revival. Well, Chris actually managing to get away from all of those shots. Or 90 Spaghetti missing all those shots. Either way you want to look at it, Shadow 7's out in 8th. Round 1 just booked an appointment with 90 Spaghetti looking for this next circle, and they want their defensive spot. And 90 Spaghetti responds with a lightning zone. They say, bring it.
Yeah, you only have a cryo mine on you. We have a bolt maker, and let's see who's going to win this fight. Now, as they recover, as they regroup, they will have vision, and there goes that Dreki is giving them the information, but they didn't know it was a 3. They only have 1 player tagged up with that Dreki, but now that they've seen a glimpse of who's in front of them, hopefully they can capitalize on this bolt maker.
Oh, and the time turner was wasted too early, which means they have got no defense to depend on. And my God, that looked too easy. 90 Piketty capitalizing on that big mistake off of round 1. If they had kept that time turner for when they really needed it, they could have withstood another push and probably just taken away at least 2 lives from the side of 90 Piketty Esports, and even better, their defensive spot, and force 90 Piketty to make that rotation. And it's the opposite. Instead, the squad gets expanded too early. True Reapers, on the other hand, a slightly better run in terms of survival today, as they have managed to pick up eliminations as well, Neptune.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, it's just a good run for the teams right now. For True Reapers as well as 90 Spaghetti, and this is where we really love those adjustments being done. Second day where they reviewed some of the tactics of the team, though they don't know specifically who they're going against in the field. But at least they have an idea on how they move, and they can trigger response based on what reaction is being done by the opponents. So right now, Any is just guarding the front, but ZT is already going in for rush, a full man strong, as that recovery is being done by the teams that has been knocked down earlier.
Oh, beauty. McLovin straight to the head. Young King down. Kane taken out of the equation. McLovin's definitely loving this as he picks NA right back up. Stellar Esports makes their exit. ZT's not done just yet, though. And 590 comes flying on in. Brian taken out of the equation. And it looks like 90 Spaghetti Esports has managed to put a quick stop to ZT. One final survivor will stay away from the rest of these monsters. True Reapers have a great big advantage with this high ground.
Yeah, let's see though, if high ground, if they have the utilities to throw at 90 Spaghetti, at least dwindle their numbers down, then they have best opportunity to get this booyah. 4 teams remaining at this point. We have 1 from INV. I think we also have 1 from ZT, and a full squad from both 90 Spaghetti and True Reapers. But True Reapers right now is just going for the chase, and there goes Chrono being taken down by Nang, and True Reapers will be the ones challenging 90 Spaghetti. ZT, I don't think there will be any movement that can be done, but if in case Medina spots anyone else, that would be another point that will be going for their squad.
90 Spaghetti is going to get the advantage with the circle here. Circle moves towards them. True Reapers closes, and somebody did use the A1 to fall earlier. I wonder if that has come back online already or not. Tufan with the Morse almost online. High ground advantage, like I said, for True Reapers. That Groza made it easier for Lex. This is that awakening of True Reapers that we have been looking for so far. 4v3, they have a big advantage for the booyah.
Oh, Kenny right now being spotted. 3 shots and a time turner. Perfect timing. But unfortunately, Rage X managed to hit him with that Car 98. True Reapers right now reaping the souls of 90 Piketty. But McLovin tries to go in for a payback. But it's now a 1v2. Make it a 2v none. And True Reapers definitely deserve this booyah.
Yeah, True Reapers definitely deserve this one. This is the awakening of True Reapers. Yesterday, they walked away 3 games with only 11 points in hand. They only had 5 eliminations from 3 maps. Today, they said things are about to change. I think the rotations were solid, the positioning was solid, and they didn't even have a great big advantage in the game. They made this happen for themselves. We saw some very bad plays out there, and we have to obviously call that out, because only with that are we able to judge really good plays like this for True Reapers, because they did the exact opposite. They stayed out of fights they knew they could not take, but when they were forced with that high ground advantage, they knew that they played their timing absolutely right in that circumstance. And, you know, they didn't really get too far away. They didn't get carried away. They had an opportunity to engage with 90 Piketty and ZT earlier, Neptune. The trigger discipline saved them a lot of the trouble.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, that's one thing that they really need to do right now in most cases, because trigger discipline will avoid or you will be able to avoid some of those detection coming from the opponents, and also that's information that will not be revealed, so you can pull off a little bit of element of surprise for the team. So really looking forward to how the team's going to play this one out this time around, but this is where it started. It's True Reapers, or after the battle of GCT Arrow and Deltas, that's where we've seen, or rather Cartel Sur, that's where we've seen True Reapers try to gun up against them, and that's GCT Arrow. It's not an easy team to bring down, but True Reapers that managed to pull it off.
And later, of course, INV faced off up against a Shadow 7 that overstayed their welcome and did not really survive that encounter long enough. They did manage to pull away one revival, but that player just didn't really get too far after that. Stella GG, this is a little bit of a surprise today because I was expecting a better move coming through from the squad, and this was where Rage X got that double nade out of nowhere. And at this point, they should have gotten eliminated already, but it was Lex's play, and he was lucky enough to find one player from ZT that was not really aware of his presence, got that knock, got the revival, of course later on got annihilated, but they survived all of those mishaps to get to the final circle.
Yeah, I do agree now. It's just getting tougher and tougher for teams right now, because some of the teams who were not doing quite well from yesterday are now performing just like this, and this is where trouble begins for most instances. If you won't be able to like adjust to how well some of the teams have been adjusting, then you will be left behind, even for those who manage to cross over the first 12 of our competition.
Absolutely, man. And of course, True Reapers surviving, reviving, getting in there, down to the final circle, and clearly even the decisions that they made halfway through the game where they were multiple times almost annihilated, just made it very clear they're not the best when it comes to gunfights, right? They are losing a fair bit of these engagements, but it is all about the recovery, and this is something that we highlighted yesterday. Teams in the USA have not been practicing escaping, right? And in a battle royale like Free Fire, man, you gotta know when to back away. When you want to walk away, you gotta know how to get out of that situation. Lex 7, the MVP for this match, 4 eliminations, 1 headshot, 8 assists. He doesn't know how to get away as well, but at least he knows how to get the others.
Let's see now. I mean, with that Rebel Rush and the Tatsuya, it's a good thing that he's bringing it back, but it also helps with that passive that he has. So not only that it has a Joseph, if in case you receive a little bit of debuff, it goes for a counter and you are buffed up, but it also gives you an opportunity to pick up your teammates quite easily with that Tiva as well, and then the combination of that Nikita and that M590 was just pristine out of the guy. So another all-rounder that we're seeing out of US, but going against any from 90 Petty, the numbers says a lot, and even if we have the Booyah Takers and MVP, any I think is MVP for 90 Petty.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it obviously pulled in a lot of eliminations here. 9 versus 4. They're worlds apart. But am I surprised? No. Like I've been saying, True Reapers are not the best at engagement. The fact that they have 4 eliminations here through Lex is a huge thing, right? I think they played their cards right in this game, which they should continue to do because they are clearly figuring out where they are weak. They're clearly figuring out where they can excel, and they're focusing on their positives, just trying to reduce the negatives just a tad bit. And as expected, of course, in a game of strength, it's going to be 90 Piketty Esports. 20 out of 71 eliminations, more than 25% of the eliminations went to one squad. But of course, it was a very low elimination game overall. We don't have a lobby full of monsters and many people to pick on. I think the fights were fairly equal in many of those engagements.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, there's only a few engagements, and I think there's less chances for recovery from what we've seen on those engagements. Team against team, it's how you said it. Like there's little chance of escaping. They don't know how to escape. So most of the time, once they bring those elimination in, it's more of to confirm them and take out the entire squad. There's no refresh happening. Thus, the number of eliminations quite low in that map.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I don't mind that, because this is the time and place where, yes, you have to earn your points but you also got to learn fast, right? Because you don't get many opportunities whatsoever. So if you're struggling, then you got to play it safe. And many teams are starting to play it safe, so they're avoiding a lot of these engagements as best possible. That's great for us, right? We want to see more teams make those improvements, find that final circle. And if you are like true Reapers, getting yourself into the final circle is half of the battle. And then trying to get some eliminations in that final circle seems like, hey, wait a minute, this might just be easy. This might just be doable. In the final circle, surviving up to that, if you can complete the first half of the challenge, I think you still will go quite far because your average points per match is definitely going to be above 10. And that's going to be enough to survive not being in the bottom 6.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, that's one thing that they need to work on right now. And same goes with some of the teams. I didn't mention about Megacorp, though they're not playing this yet, but this is a chance for them to really change up or like do other tactics, or other strategies they can pull off. And the same goes for the other teams from the survival stage or from the previous season, who we know can bring in the numbers if needed. So that's just some things that we suggest teams has to do, but if they want to go for that numbers first and then do the practicing later on, you're all free to do it, but the time is running out. Some of the teams are moving up quite quickly, especially as we have the overall standings in the front of us right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's take a look and see exactly what the boys managed to pull this from this matchup. Because obviously we're looking at just the overall standings. From that game, we weren't able to see exactly who kind of did a little bit better. But 90 Piketty managing to launch themselves up to the top. That's going to be the biggest highlight of this.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, they put in decent amount of elimination, and also there's a lot of points that they managed to grab out of this competition, out of that first map. But will they be able to be consistent? That is a question, because it's a different scene right now in Bermuda. Everyone will be familiar, and we are still talking about the same set of teams. So if in case 90 Piketty just took advantage of the hook guns and the elevations, and that might be different later on in Bermuda, as well as depending on where they will be dropping.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. And of course, Kalahari, that's done and dusted already. Next, we have got Bermuda and Purgatory on standby. And that's just going to be for the first two groups. And then, of course, we get the group switch done. We'll bring in more squads, and we get to see how they perform up against each other. The combination of groups C to B so far is looking like it's got the right kryptonite for some of these big squads.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, there's just a lot of things that teams has been showing evidently the weaknesses that they have. And I do agree the Kryptonite is something that they need to either work around with or fix overall. But let's see if that's something that they can do right now. On the OG map of Bermuda, there's a lot of open spaces in this area, and everyone is familiar on where they could drop. But again, similar to what we said in the beginning of the day, this new groupings might start off a few more of those hot drops.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's head on in here and see who manages to pull away the Booyah and some big numbers off of this map as we head on into this next game. Initially at Kalahari, obviously the challenge was there, but at Bermuda, you know, the challenge is still going to be there, but at least you know the map a little bit better. Bermuda well loved by many squads in here. And this is where you know there are certain compounds where you just will not find anybody else. So that's exactly where you want to go to if you are going to be a squad that's a tad bit challenged. Keratin usually does not have many players. Of course, not a lot of loot as well, but you'll be able to have a good start off of those coins. Maybe rotate into Mill and Cape Town, but we'll have to catch up with that in a little bit. INV up against Deltas very early on, and INV picking on Darius. Poco's in. Mini Uzi will not be able to shut down anyone. Farok's down as well. One final survivor here for Deltas. And it looks like this could just be all over for the squad. But Chris, a very quick revive. Somebody managed to get Chris back in here before the team got annihilated.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, I don't know. It might be late because that's only a few minutes, like less than 1 minute before the rest of the squad has been annihilated. So he might have been just dropping away from the rest of the squad, and he's taking his time just to see what's going to happen. But Chris did manage to revive Pokusin, and they are a 2-man strong right now, and they have an opportunity to loot up as well, depending on where they really drop. But for most of the teams, I don't think there's any hot drop that happened from other parts of the area, so this is good enough for me that they're studying where they need to drop, especially in Bermuda.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is what we're looking for, right? Again, on Kalahari, limited spots, so understandable. WAV sent towards the squad of 1NT. And it looks like it manages to scan out 3 players. One guy called Brian21 did manage to rotate out of the UAV sites. Scan coming on through. Again, STG looking to see if or not the players are flanking around from the left-hand side. This is a very smart play. Heavy investment from Stellar GG, but at least they've got information to play with. No need to focus on the left. Everybody to the right. Here comes Audrey. Grenade does not find the connection. Kristan with the Mag 7 approaching dangerously. But now they have to pause. They have to make sure they get the confirmation on positions first.
Well, we have Chris 9 being taken down. Now Chris 10 from Stellar Gaming might be able to bring down Andre, especially with the 3-man strong they have and how they are split up. But going to Zeus Esports, TMJ almost being taken down, but recoveries are quite quick. Back to Stellar Gaming as a battle at the hand. Stellar Gaming does manage to go for the flank and for the push, and now they have the 3rd elimination. Back and forth we go in this battle, and Zeus Esports now are losing their players.
Oh, to Shadow 7. This is a big one. King with the cord. Has the Trogon as well. Might as well bring that gun out. And Mingle with the P90. Will be able to get Curlin down to less than half HP. Mango right behind, and Curlin punished, but not before getting those revivals through. King still alive and kicking. In fact, kicking a lot of butt with the cord. I mean, I was surprised that Shadow 7 was getting the best of Zeus, but as expected, Zeus just turning that battle around.
Yeah, I mean, if it's other team, Shadow 7 might have won that, but Zeus Esports just a different kind of monster. You've seen how well they put, their backs to the wall. They're not even phased. All they have to do is use a glue wall, time it to perfection. If they have to break down a glue wall, they know exactly which one out of the 3 or 4 that's in front of them that they need to use to get back against Shadow 7. That's just what we've seen so far from the rest of the squad. But round 1 right now, trying to get away, trying to get a high advantage, high ground advantage against everyone else. But the battle continues between Stellar Gaming as well as INV.
Yeah, 9 Picketti Esports as well as Zeus might get into a battle shortly as well. Stellar Gaming spotting out INV now after those shots. Black is going to have a little bit of trouble here as Low flanks around. Chrono, a sliver of health left on him with the VSK in hand. He has to look for the protection. Low gets far away enough. STG, a 3-way battle, not looking good for STG. As INV takes them out of the equation with his high ground advantage, and 1NT just interfering in a couple of those shots as well.
Let's see, able to make that change. Ninth Getty, Any is one of the MVP for the squad, but going against 3 players from ZT, he stood no chance. Now, 4 elimination already being grabbed by Zam team, and they might be able to go for a rotate away from the zone right now, but it doesn't hurt that much. It's only the first phase of the circle, though it's closing into the second phase. They have plenty of time to make it work, but Ninth Getty, despite of losing one of the players, they can revive them with a vending machine and peak.
Well, easy peasy. They brought it back. Engagement did not happen against Zeus the way I expected. But Deltas, though, might be in a close enough proximity to challenge 90 Picketti for their compound. Accidentally, of course. If they knew it was 90 Picketti, they would not. But we've turned off the elimination feed, so yeah, they have got no idea who they are firing at. 1NT about to get caught in a full-blown battle in a little bit. Zeus Esports, big rotation round. But up against round 1, from so far away, they could probably walk away with a couple of eliminations here. But INV on the way into this battle as well to make it a 3-way. True Reapers hopping on into the battle. This is not looking good for True Reapers. They should stop with that jump back.
Well, let's see. I mean, they only have a couple of players who managed to go for the jump, and Ragex is already on the ground. The motivation that they got after that booyah as now fueling their fire. But Curling Shake won't be shaking that much anymore as he has been brought down. But that is only one player out of four-player squad of Zeus Esports, and they are still going for the push with TMJ going for the flank with an M24. A knock is sure to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the minute launch is great to get yourself from one spot to another. We did say teams need to use it more often. But obviously, you got to look where you're jumping, or at least get it out with the binoculars first. Man, they just jumped right between two squads there. Thank goodness the rest of them put a quick pause onto that. And the squad will survive for the time being. True Reapers did not get reaped out of the lobby in that situation. But ZT on the other hand, though, Brian! With one mistake, not peeking towards the right, had the right gun, just not the right reaction, and such a strong team out so early.
I have to agree. I mean, it is getting tough right now. But for Deltas, they only have 1 point up here, edge of the circle, but it's closing soon. INV. High elevation already, but Chris 9 doesn't wait, even a card 98, and he would be taking them down. Farrax on the follow-up with an M590, and I'm really loving how well accuracy is on this team. Minordo will be knocked down, pick up can't be done, but INV is losing players one at a time.
Absolutely, and Deltas looking solid so far, 4 eliminations, nothing too crazy just yet, but performing well up against a steady squad called INV. Chrono has no choice, just backing away at the vending machine. Could not do much. Has a Horsey though. Horsey's got no boost though.
Let's see, no boost at all, but it does have mobility. You can you can jump, and you cannot do that on vehicle. So that's one thing that we don't see often. Ragex almost being taken down, but shots on him, and I know for a fact that Ragex is hearing those bullets fling through his ears right now. Thus, he is trying to dance around, but that was missed opportunity for TMJ. But the shot, I think that gave information to players of round 1, and they are now flying. Whoa, they're moving away outside of the zone. Not quite sure what the plan is for round 1.
Yeah, they want another round later on, but they definitely don't want to fight Zeus right now. Whoever was sniping at them clearly was good because the bullets were close enough. So they're like, never mind, we will take this fight later. Smart play by round 1. You shouldn't be disengaging from any squad in a tense situation like this, especially if the circle's right behind you. So you're going to focus on their loot and make a long rotation round. Maybe a long left flank, but they gotta hope and pray that Zeus does not have that same idea inside the circle with the path that they are choosing to take. 6 eliminations strong for round 1, not too bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is better than the round 1 that they have. So let's see if they will be able to change their name to round all. Just to make sure that every round, regardless of which number it is, they will be playing it well. Night of Spaghetti, though, a little slow. Probably it's because of the engagement that they managed to lose in the early parts of this battle. But they don't have the position as well. They do have an opponent, which is 1NC, that they could shoot down. But as we switch over to Zeus Esports, they spotted Cardinal Sword. Not looking good for this invited team. They might be the first one, or this might be one of the few teams that will be eliminated once again in this match.
Yeah, invited and eliminated. Back to back. That's not looking good, Cartel, sir. You better qualify. Zeus Esports knocking on their door, though. They have eaten these nades one too many times in the past already. How do they deal with this situation? Getting towards that lower floor. VSK up top. King. Oh, what a beautiful stairway of glue walls made by King and squad. Up to the second floor. M590 says hello. King finds one. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, finding more players on the side of Zeus. And now the rest of the Cartel Soul players going in here for backup. Looking for the pickup onto their buddy. Will lose one, but Carlos picked right back up here. The rest of the Zeus squad moves on in for this battle, but they now have to be careful because here comes round 1 for round 2.
Let's see, round one for round two. But Zeus Esports, I think the missed opportunity right here is they threw a lot of those utilities before going for the rush. And now that the flurry of glue walls has been laid out by Cartel Sur, they don't have anything to throw at them. And the final few glue wall melters has been laid out, but Cartel Sur is sure enough that their glue wall will be able to defend that one room. So we'll have to wait on which breaks down first. But Gavi Yoda, unfortunately, he had to lay his own glue wall. Not really planning on the push just yet. Probably more of funneling them into one spot.
Yeah, man. Round one, rotating in, and they were like, oh, nope, they're here as well. They walked out to look for a jump pad. Smart. Good on you, round one. No round two just yet. Zeus up against Cartel Sur. They do manage to get a double knock, but King still up and alive. Kicking them down, but Fake stepped it up. The final player with a sliver of health, Cartel Sur, stood strong in that battle against Zeus somehow. True Reapers on the other hand, M590s popping all around, and it will be the M79 that dismantles them, courtesy of Darius, taking down player after player on the side of True Reapers. Just one final one alive and kicking, taken out by the Circle, I think.
Damaged by the Circle, as well as probably a few shots from the M590 as he tried fly away. But unfortunately for True Reapers, they only got one elimination out of that plane and no back-to-back for them. So the Booyah Curse continues for True Reapers. For round one, though, I think they flew enough. From what we've seen last time that we saw them, they're trying to join the engagement between Cartel Sur and Zeus Esports, but they use a launch pad. So this is one team that is actually listening to what we're saying. They're using Launchpad for the entry, for the exit, and right now they're the only ones in the middle of the zone. Other than the GCT Arrow on the edge, as well as Cartel Sur, they're the ones in a clear view of everyone else who will be moving into next phase.
Yeah, this is perfect, man. This is exactly what I want to see out of the squads here, right? Not just about those engagements, although they are very important in a good game of Free Fire, but finding the reposition, just finding the survival to that final circle, like you highlighted as well. Those mini launches, looking for the jump pad. Rotations are strong. One NT out of the equation already. 7 squads still left in here. And GCT Arrow this time, punishing Cartel Sur once again. GCT Arrow punishing Deltas again, back to back. What in the world is GCT doing up there?
I mean, GCT Arrow, they have a focus on in front of them, going against round one, and then they have clear view on the side. So, like, if you have one sniper, like a great sniper in here, who can just switch focus, even with a distraction in front, then you'll be able to do so. And speaking of great sniper, we have NA in there, deal with INV, and INV will be eliminated by only one guy. Look at that, 6 elimination only for himself.
Absolutely monstrous. 90 Spaghetti Esports, definitely one of the better squads. And they are gonna look to stay on that #1 spot on the overall leaderboard with the way they are running it. And towards the opposite side of all of this action. 90 Spaghetti out in the open though, but they will definitely not have to deal with a lot of the firepower early on. And the high ground advantage for them should give them a little bit of a greater sight over all this action that's breaking down. The next circle is going to be on the opposite end. And GCT Arrow brings out the lightning zone just to say hello to everyone.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, Collado is just spamming that Groza, and that being a level 3, that being coming from an airdrop. Or the arsenal, that would be unlimited on the ammo. So he's just using it to break down the glue walls. He still have those utilities on them. They only brings out Collado brings out a glue wall after what, 1 or 2 after 10 seconds, and they still are full equipped. Round 1 though is in trouble. They couldn't get away. Like little on the glue wall, low on the glue wall rather, but no utilities. And here comes 90 Piketty, who might backstab them.
Yeah, GCT Arrow still doing well, but Kenny dropping the bomb, dropping the nade on the round 1 players, unsuspecting, and from such a distance. They definitely wanted the circle, and they had to use that grenade. Round 1 just unfortunate that they were the ones in the way of 90 Piketty on that rotation. And now circle closing in. Shadow 7 is about to become the next victim, but GCT Arrow taking advantage of their position, taking out the 90 Piketty Esports player, increasing their odds of walking away with the booyah.
Yeah, as we can see, they force Shadow 7 as well as 9 Pieri in one spot. So they have a clear view. They have a little bit of cover for themselves, and they might be able to win this. But Shadow 7 is being safe right now, staying in the lower part of this bridge. But as we see the shift, it would be favoring Shadow 7. But here comes the push by 9 Pieri. I think it's a little bit too early because GCT Arrow understood the mission, and they're bringing them down. That's one of the full squad that we've seen in the final 3 teams. They need to go for the pickup and jump down to spot out. Oh no, they don't need to jump down. They just need to back away a little bit or move forward a little bit to go against Shadow Esports, because Shadow Esports now took the spot where 9 Pieri was.
GCT Arrow reminding everyone that they qualified for the competition. They were not invited. And when they qualified, they dominated. And now their domination shown once again. Coda used on the opposite side. Aurora Vision, they have information, but the Valiant Dash just breaks down everything, and was on Pew, finding 2 players at the same time, looking for the third one. Here comes Misa, and Wason says, wait, Misa, where?
Wason is definitely on, and he was not off on that final battle. And we're going to see, once again, GCT Arrow move up into the leaderboards with Goliado, who managed to break down a lot of glue walls out of round 1. He was a game changer that with the Groza in hand, unlimited ammo, similar to what we've talked about with those LMG. With you, if you have the firepower to use your weapon instead of any other utilities to break down the glue wall, that's already a 1+ for you, and you can save resources where it really matters. And that final circle is where it really matters for them.
Absolutely, man. And GCT Arrow just stepping it up once again. Yesterday wasn't a great run for them, but today picking up this Booyah, I think, is solid enough to show that, yeah, they were just not ready for play yesterday, or they were messing around, because when we saw them on the qualifier, man, they were explosive. They were just reaping lives in their lobby. But they obviously showed that it was a very different stage. It was a very different set of squads that they're dealing with, and it wasn't a fantastic run. But this recovery shows that, yeah, they're not going to be in the bottom 6.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a good thing as well, because they can try a lot of approaches. They can try different tactics overall, and they can use that against any group that they have. So let's see, though, on a little bit of highlights, a little bit of replay out of that match in Bermuda. But judging from how the teams has been playing, there's a few teams that is trying to take the momentum shift towards them. 9 Pieri is one of those, and we've seen them on the final circle, though. But it's just unfortunate that even if they took down round 1, that final move against GCT Arrow doesn't even give them that opportunity to beat them down, and they just have their backs in the wall.
Yeah, man, no doubt at all. And Zeus Esports, they had a short round this time. They did manage to get far enough with decent eliminations, but they were just caught out. It shows that not everybody can be great all the time, right? A couple of players do make the mistakes out there. One of the good reasons why we didn't see Zeus Esports walk away with the EWC ticket is because of that exact same reason. Very aggressive, just unable to really secure guaranteed booyahs for themselves, guaranteed spots in that final circle. They actually lost this one to Cartel Sur, which I was very surprised about.
It's tough, really. I mean, Cartel Sur is slowly moving up. I really love that. If needed, they will be able to get all those points, but it's just unfortunate as well that they couldn't maintain that consistency. They couldn't maintain that survivability, and there's still a lot of fixing that needs to be done. A lot of mistakes that we are seeing out of most of the teams right here. But that final move, the timing, you see that pause before they go in for that Valiant Dash, and that also provides a cue for the rest of the squad of GCT Arrow to just wait for a moment before they go push in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And GCT Arrow, the Valiant Dash was just a bad play coming through from the side of Shadow 7. They didn't really make any bit of difference with that blast. All they did manage to do was just open up the field for Wason Pew, who pulled away a triple elimination. You gotta love it. And GCT Arrow walking away with a booyah on top of decent eliminations off of that match. This is the recovery game, and like I said, it is the kind of situation where you're just looking at how much more can they reap from this lobby, because they have one more game to go, but it looks like they've got something to prove here. 5 eliminations, rocking the Skylar, full-on sniper loadout with the passive skills. You've got the Mauro, Rafael, as well as the Moko to mark up these players and really punish them from afar. But up close and personal, he's not really a threat. But he can make a world crumble just with those Riptide Rhythm and unleash the rest of his team members on the opponents.
Well, let's take a look at the head-to-head right now. So it's not Pilon that will be joining us right now. It's True Reapers going against 90 Petty Annie. And I think this is
from the previous game.
Yeah, from the previous round. So that might be corrected, or this might be true, because we've seen Annie put in a lot of points in there as well. If I'm mistaken, like most of the elimination that has been brought in by 90 Petty was coming from Andy. So that is a fact that he's the MVP of the team. But let's go over for the game number 2 stats. That's 31 total rescues, 115 total knocks, 26 throwable use. A little bit higher on eliminations right now, but in terms of Booyah Takers, it's low compared to what we've seen often.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And this is something that you got to appreciate, right? I think the teams are playing it very careful, but they are heating up little by little. But you have to be careful with the fact that they're heating up little by little, because you only have 3 opportunities. You don't get a lot of warm-up rounds. You just got to go out there, do your best, and every game is going to count. Especially if you are the ones who are struggling to find survival in the competition. You're talking about teams like Cartel Sir. You're talking about teams like Shadow 7. I think we saw Shadow 7 and many glimpses of them. They managed to get to the final circle this time around. That's the kind of fight you want to see from teams who are struggling at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they really need to go for a fight right now, because I could say we're almost halfway through for this weekend already for the battle. So only one more match for this group B and C before we switch over for the next group, and this is where you really hustle. If you couldn't make it the first match, just use it as an opportunity to learn for the opponents. Otherwise, you might be at a loss later on, because whilst you're trying to catch up, they're already moving further away from you. So it's getting more and more difficult for these teams.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, we're gearing up for the 3rd game here. It's probably going to be at Purgatory, and 90 Getting Esports performs well on this map. And I think there is a potential that we see them again step into that final circle. I think the consistency has been mind-blowing from this squad so far. The only problem that 90 Piketty will have in this lobby is the fact that Zeus Esports might be pissed right now. And I think they want a booyah for themselves.
Yeah, and that's tough for 90 Piketty, because they're part of Group C. And same group of Zeus Esports. There's no getting away from them. And probably that's one reason as well. In the initial match, they tried as much to go and put in a lot of effort in getting all those points, because if you cannot get away from Zeus Esports, at least try bringing the numbers from themselves. And speaking of 90 Piketty, they're the first one who managed to hit that first century mark with above average in terms of elimination. So this is a good time for 90 Piketty right now to increase the odds of those elimination, as well as get that extra bounty for themselves. But judging from what has been brought in by True Reapers earlier, they need to double the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what happens here in the next game. It's going to be Purgatory, and the teams who have managed to climb up so far, like 90 Piketty, yes, they have hustled, but is there a reason to go all out once again? Absolutely not. Do they want to flex on everyone else? Yes, they do. So we're going to see them move towards the final circle. But the teams that are struggling, Neptune, the teams who are finding it tough to find some of these battles and walk away with some decent points, I think we need to see some change. Round 1, surprisingly, have not been able to find big games here for themselves to survive. So I think we need to see a little bit more of safer rotations come through from squads like that. Delta Esports, Cartel Sir as well. I mean, if they don't catch up now, I think it might start running a little too late.
Yeah, it's really getting fast right now. And judging from the gameplay that we've seen for the first few rounds, we might expect that it's somewhat low, but slow rather. But again, some of the teams are moving quite fast, not giving them an opportunity for the revive and just getting those elimination in, because that would be a threat towards the latter part of the circle. But this is one thing I would say. This is the second game that we are going to see Group C play purgatory. And from what we witnessed yesterday out of Group C, it's 9 Piketty who did manage to get that booyah. 26 in total points, 14 elimination, 12 in placement. And even Zeus Esports didn't even make it on second place, but they did manage to get more of the elimination. So that's one thing that gives you a perspective of what needs to be done. If you can probably get away from Zeus Esports or eliminate them early, then you can get a few more of those points for your side.
Absolutely. Let's see what we find here. Flight path looks fairly decent. Mode house, probably someone wants to go there if you want to stay safe. Nobody goes to mode house. Unless round one wants to be the team that goes to mode house. But of course, as we head on in here, I am expecting some hot drops at least. We have seen that these squads here in the USA do not disappoint. And as I say that, Stella GG dropping on in, finding a Deltas player was very cheeky. I mean, why would that be a good plan? I don't know. But he has now given away 1 point. 9 Piketty Esports finding Team ZT as well. That's a very big hot drop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were just talking about them earlier. They brought in Booyah as well as a few elimination. But again, for one of the players from of Deltas, I think that was some of the plan for most of the teams, wherein they split up, try to gather as much information as possible. But as we switch over to 9 Piketty, there goes ZT. One of the players though, X-Kane, being hit by the mini Uzi, and Kenny can't be picked up. So there's a little consolation for the teams going against 9 Piketty at this point. But for Curling Shake, definitely you're rocking it with that plasma gun. No chance of losing that much in ammo. And on the early engagement, that's one of the weapons that we've seen in the USA mostly used on those drops.
Yes, that is GG. Still finding the players on the side of Deltas. Zeus Esports, on the other hand, on the chase here. GCT Arrow.
Oh,
managed to back away with this one final survivor. Question is, are they going to get a hit list on him and finish the job, or will they allow them to revive and just continue to farm these squads, right? They have to be careful, though. GCT Arrow is a team that can fight back.
I do agree. I mean, if they will be able to get a full squad, at least half of the squad, there's still a lot of firepower coming from the team. But we'll have to see later on that if they go for revive. 9 Piketty, McLovin receiving a little bit of loving for 1NT, but that cord hit with a headshot against Leon. Phenomenal, even in a crouch. But here comes the rest of the squad going for the push. But they have their own cord. Brian right now mowing the lawn with 90 Piketty in an instant takedown. And that's the first team being eliminated.
And that's what I'm talking about. These teams down at the bottom need to freaking wake up. And that was a fantastic play out of Kona and Brian. The Cord M590 combination, right place, right time. They had the right loot on them, and they were ready for that battle for sure. And 9 Piketty Esports, they did manage to get a booyah at the start, but unfortunately in this last game for their group, they will get eliminated. First squad to exit the lobby. Colado finding one Deltas player. But Team ZT, though, being dismantled one after the other.
Yeah, only Medina is the only player remaining for Team ZT. But for Zeus, well, they did get a few points earlier, but they need to deal with a couple of players from GCT Arrow. Goleado already going for that regroup for the rest of the squad, but they don't know that there's a backstab that's bound to happen. Wasando has been spotted, and there goes Gavi Yoda once again for the hit. Plasma gun back in play, and Zeus Esports is showing who is king.
5 eliminations strong. The hunt has not ended just yet, and as expected, they just want to let them live and hunt them. Farm the points whilst you can. Why not? Round 1 up against Stella GG. This time, no eliminations in hand just yet. They've tossed the Narrow out already. They got the initial information. But Limas with the M24 drops Pubsy. And here comes Kristen. Beautiful Valiant dash. 180 with the M590. He gets the knock. VSK getting the job done. Stella GG dismantles round 1 in round 3.
Oh, let's see. Now, Stellar get GG with only with already 6 points, and they are the leader of the pack right now, even going ahead of Zeus Esports. So, they will need to make a better rotation, probably try and beat down some opponents from afar, similar to what we're seeing from Shadow Esports right now. Shadow 7, rather. They're dealing with Zeus Esports, and this is their 40. All they have to worry right now is the sniper from the side of Zeus Esports, who we didn't see them perform that much. It's more of the frontliners that we often see out of Zeus. But Nando, P77, going for the flank, getting an angle against Zeus Esports, or probably a reposition for the entire squad, would be crucial to their success.
Man, STG's on fire. They're just hunting player after player, team after team. And now, Lightning Zone has been pulled here by True Reapers, who are desperately trying to survive this. Nero tossed out, Kristan on the hunt. He spotted Shooter already, and Shooter stabbed in the back. M590, Kristan runs through him, and Black with the Mag 7 gets the knock as well. Here's Ragex with the cord, a sliver of health left on him, but he takes himself out?
It's tough. I mean, it's a bit of a panic play, especially if there's a lot happening. It's a panic play, and it's real difficult to get away from that. Even earlier on Ski Lodge, we see one player trigger Morse, and there's even no opponent. So if you don't fix, if you don't fix those those UIs on your game, those HUDs on your game, and I guess they probably are using better devices, especially if they are the first time that they're getting into the group stage. But that's not an excuse. They need to be on point every time, similar to what we see in the Charge Buster coming from Minoor.
I don't know what he was doing there. I have questions, Stella GG. Split up on the battlefield, all one in a hunt, 4 points. Now, you reap what you sow, Stella GG. GK comes GCT Arrow and 1 NT. And Limas is going to lose all of his loot here if he doesn't get lucky somehow. He's got the option to quickly reposition there. That might just bring the rest of his opponents straight to his team members. So Limas is going to stay quiet for the time being. GCT Arrow under fire by 1 NT. Limas is just watching all of this. He's like, I am not here.
He's just a shadow right there. But there goes the knock. Now, Leon, or GCT Arrow, say they're receiving a lot from what they delivered from the earlier game. Unlimited ammo coming from LMGs. We've seen a Groza as well being used by 1NT. Now, the final player is being chased as, but the Stellar Gaming Limas finally spotted. And 1NT, definitely not empty with the fuel that they have. They're bringing the fire right now with 8 elimination, and they're a full squad. But they need to move fast on the next phase of the circle, because from what I'm seeing in the direction that they're heading, it's quite open, and they might be gunned down.
Yeah, and they also need to move well, because they're not really the best team out there right now as far as points are concerned. And this is their last opportunity of the day. So good on 1NT for waking up here. Shadow 7, on the other hand, in the exact same sort of a pickle. In fact, they are in deeper waters down here in the bottom 6. They need to find these big points, or at least get to that final circle and walk away with a tenner in terms of just staying alive for another day. Oh, and Colado with a triple revival. GCT Arrow about to be back here for a little bit of revenge as 1NT hunts down the players of Stellar GG.
Let's see now, Stellar GG right now. Elimination leader at this point. They want to take that spot. They want to take that reign. And Cone, whale level 3 AUG. Will he be able to make that shot? I don't think that's the best weapon to use right now, but Chris 10 is just waiting for the opportunity. Horror Vision being triggered, but a valiant dash by Chris 10. Both of them being taken down from either side, but 1NT is the one dwindling a little bit faster. If they recover, they might be able to fight back, but unfortunately, Stellar Gaming is just stellar at this point, not giving a chance for 1NT. Only Brian remains, and he uses that stealth bites to get away.
Yeah, beautiful. Stellar Gaming weren't even taking a peek at him. He used that a little too early. And now he is going to get spotted out here. Here comes Black.
Oh, zipline.
He knows exactly where to look. Zipline. Oh, with the cord. Brian surviving. One more shot needed.
Oh!
And they snuff him out. And 1NT pay the big price. Stellar Gaming ran away initially, forcing 1NT to be pulled out of their defensive position. And 1NT got super confident, thinking, look, chicken, let's go get them. Yeah, that turned around fairly quick, and Stellar GG is looking absolutely stellar once again.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we seldomly see out of USA right now is the timing, or how to say, the trap of your opponents or activating the skills out of your opponents before you go for the engagement. Because from that moment we're in, one NT could have taken advantage. It's that Valiant Dash that pulled them for surprise. The Valiant Dash coming from Stellar GG, broke down the glue wall, and they're pointing directly into where they expected him to be. So it's just timed perfectly, and that's what Stellar GG took advantage of.
Absolutely, man. I think trading out some of these active skills is really a genius play. Deltas, though, they had a decent run so far, but it looks like they're about to be snuffed out. Just bumping into the wrong squads at the wrong time here. As Zeus, on the other hand, it managed to dismantle a couple of Deltas players earlier on with 9 eliminations, and just so close to the vending machine. Just Zeus TMJ is brought right back in. And Zeus looks like they are going to have a fairly decent rotation into this next circle. Shadow 7 up against Cartel Sur, though. Cartel Sur doesn't need to move much. They are deep in the center of this next zone, but they are definitely under fire.
Yeah, definitely. They will need to take a little bit of cover. But the worst part of where Cartel Sur is, and teams might be going in on the southern part of this area wherein Cartel Sur would be in the open. So Shadow 7's coming from north, so they have a little bit cover from that rooftop. But if someone jumps behind them, they will be in clear view, and we might be saying goodbye to Cartel Sur once again. So they need to either reposition or get inside the house, wait for that circle to close in, and then that's where they plan their approach. And I think Fake is one of that best example. He hides out in the middle, make sure that no one would be moving up in there through the stairs, and all they had to do is wait for this moment.
Stellar Gaming 15 eliminations up, and it looks like Shadow 7 wants to make that 19 because they're disturbing them right now. You should not do this, Shadow 7. Unless they get lucky with these shots, though. Not looking like that. Nando Sep. Nando, okay, there you go. Beautiful. Marks up one player as well, thanks to the Moko. I mean, Shadow Sep, I mean, this is just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
STG now knows that you're there. And they can have the option of going anywhere else. They've already sent out a Dinoculus scan towards the right-hand side. But later they're going to come for revenge, and that's just not good for you, Shadow 7. Zeus up against GCT Arrow again. And GCT forced to scramble. But Zeus is spending way too long outside the circle, hunting for one extra point. This might just backfire. Like what it's doing right now. Curlin takes Pelon out right after King gets dropped. And like I said, Zeus overstaying the welcome out here in the zone that they are definitely not welcome in.
Yeah, I mean, definitely need to move fast to revive their teammates. They have plenty of coins, and I think a couple of revives can be done for the team. There you have it.
Oh,
Curlin
nice.
shaking that vending machine to spit out a couple of players for their squad. It's more of the recovery, though, that they need to work in, because we are on the fourth phase of the circle, and it will be closing in a bit. And not so much of real estate is available, especially with two teams already taking it for the longest time.
STG saying, hey, we got bullets too, bro. You want to try? But of course, now, you see what I said? Shadow 7 called them and they're like, okay, oh, invitation? Well, Zeus gets taken out. ZT, thank you very much for taking out the monsters. Dinoculus can buy Shadow 7. They're like, oh no, they answered the call. And now Stellar GG is right outside the doors of Shadow 7, and they can take any defensive spot, but they want this one.
all right. They're jumping far away. They're jumping far away. I think they're anticipating the next shift. And with this dip that they have, they're still in view of Shadow 7 though, but they have a good hiding spot. So they will be able to, I would say, save up on a few resources. And Shadow 7 would be in between Stellar Gaming and anyone who will be hearing those gunshots and trying to run them down. So it's Shadow 7 right now, or Stellar Gaming rather, waiting for that opportunity. But on the side, it seems ZD, the team that eliminated Zeus Esports. Well, earlier I thought Stellar Gaming has a good plan, but now I think that is wrong.
Yeah, man. I mean, they should have just listened to me and attacked Shadow 7. Now they put themselves in a little bit of a pickle. I have no idea why they made that rotation, but either way, there's no way they could have known that ZT was going to be that Kane. Man, they should have just taken Shadow 7. ZT just annihilated Stella GG after they had a fantastic run in here so far. ZT looking like a strong squad for the Booyah as they make their way in, but I and V might not be very welcoming to that suggestion. GCT Arrow looking for that recovery play as well. Question is, are they in a full squad?
Well, we'll have to see. But Mr. Goat for the shot. And I can't blame that they're taking up the same team right here. Both from both perspectives, ZT and Shadow 7, they have a clear view of INB. And this is where we were talking about Cartel Sword. They have the same spot on the rooftop, and they can't be taken down by anyone, but especially with this Bolt Maker. Now, will they be able to get in and survive, as one of the players from Shadow 7 has been taken down already, Wolf X, and Nando is healing up. There comes the push, but Mango managed to go for the knock. GCT Arrow is now eliminated, and they're just below the teams. All they have to worry about is ZT, who's closing in fast.
Oh, here comes ZT. The position is on the other side. INV has a little bit of a high ground advantage here, but a couple of nades can take them out of the equation. And Mego knows exactly that. But before the nade could be tossed out, Mego gets pressured by Benor. FGL as well as 590 in hand, looking for those shots. But the headshot says not finding the connection. Cartel Sir is still alive and kicking. Finally, they make it all the way here into this battle. But can they interfere? Can they pull away some points? Grenade still not finding INV. And Mango still has not tossed that nade out to tease them just yet. Circle's gonna start shifting. Everybody needs to move.
Yeah, everybody, especially Cartel Sur, who was stuck inside. They were shut in earlier, but they will need to take this fire. INV, a great reposition using this monster truck. They have a little bit of cover as well, and they can funnel everyone from Cartel Sur to Shadow 7 and Chrono with AWM as well. And I'm seeing that INB is really looking for a lot of elation, not only that, also the Booyah.
Absolutely. Cartel Sir now in a situation to sneak this one away as long as they can play this one safe, but INV turns their attention to them. Carl's taken out of the equation already. Here comes Fake 8 with the M590, circling around the left-hand side. Everybody's used up the active skills. Here comes another opportunity. Low looking for that refresher onto that Chrono before they get involved in another battle up against the ZT or Shadow 7 players. ZT still hanging on. What is Young King even doing in this circle? Misa Goat with the Car 98, taking down the INV player. Muslim, the final player left here for Cartel Sir, as Shadow 7 makes the exit. Cartel Sir makes another exit because of the circle. And now King is up against two players, Benor as well as Low. Will Team ZT be able to pull off this clutch? M590 in the hands of King and the time turner. Big advantage, but couldn't even use it. Low finishes him off.
Talk about survivability. I mean, INV is the ones in most of the crosshairs of the team surrounding them. Cartel Sur was taking that spot earlier, but they managed to switch it up. So Cartel Sur moved down, INV took that high ground, and we thought that INV would be the first one to go down, being target of ZT, being a target of Shadow 7, but they know exactly where to move, and there's plenty of space for them. They took that T house, wherein even if they lose a few of those glue walls, they can just switch over, jump over onto the other side, and they have a little bit of cover. And with that, they manage to control that zone.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's a situation where it was just so chaotic. There's just no telling who was going to get the big numbers in that lobby. I think there was just so much of excitement all around. We saw 90 Piketty, we saw GCT Arrow, we saw STG, man. The Stella GG run was probably the most hilarious one. But it's so unfortunate that they got kicked out of the equation a little too early. But they're just having fun. They're just trying out some strats out there. Only unfortunate thing for Stella GG is they haven't picked up a single Booyah here for themselves. But apart from that, points, they are not short of points, man. They have got more than enough to play this lobby for sure.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, that's one thing that they can work with right now. But we, like in the beginning of the show, we start talking about how the grand finals would be important, the Booyah would be important, and that's what they need to work on. Find the final circle, grab the Booyah, and this is a chance for them to do so. But there's also risk right there, because remember, for Zeus Esports from the previous season, they managed to do so, but they were the target of a lot of teams, especially on that championship condition. So it's a double-edged sword, wherein the sharper edge would be going against you, but if you want to risk it, why not?
Yeah, man. And you know, you look at the rotations from Stella GG and you think that, hey, these guys did a lot of things right. But this is where one NT really showed up strong, almost annihilating the full squad on this run. But it was off of those very smart prioritization from STG, picking up their team members, playing the game of numbers, and then mowing them down with those shotguns. The Mag 7 came in handy for that situation. And on the other side, Zeus just could not have a decent run because they kept just trying to force the issue with GCT Arrow here and just lost too many players, spending too long outside the circle. Recovery after that was very difficult.
Yeah, and that's one thing. They need to set a rule in terms of like staying outside the zone, like the time, or how long will they be able, which phase of the circle will they be able to stay outside the zone, which phase of the circle can they choose to go for a revive, because it's a good plan if it's early, in the early part. Zeus Esports could have dropped in, loot up a little bit, and then went into the final circle. But if you're in the fourth phase already, especially in Bermuda, wherein that shrink will already hurt you, that would be damaging, and then there's a lot of eyes who will be looking up and shooting down those teammates that's coming from the revive. So there's a lot of risk that the Zeus Esports had put into that play with nothing to get from it.
Yeah, and I mean, Team INV at the end of the day are a very good squad. Remember how Erica used to annoy me with all of his skins, but now he is equipping the right ones out there. But jokes aside, I think this was a fantastic play from the teams. And the Oscar Valiant Dash always gives you a great advantage and the element of surprise in these battles up close and personal. And if you've got a shotgun to pair up with that Valiant Dash, you are definitely going to walk away with the big one, right? He's got the Joseph J. Beams for the extra layer of defense. He's got the Dreki to get info on you when you're trying to heal up, and he's trying to get close to blow your head up. Everything's working perfectly for him, and obviously the numbers are there to show that.
Yeah, 6 elimination, 2 headshots, 6 assists, and 22-14 on damage. Minor definitely made a major move out here in every engagement. Well, let's take a look at the head-to-head right now. So going against Minor is Young King from ZT, though we didn't see him like that much for Young King, but from the elimination feed, I think he's shown up in there. 3 elimination, 1868 on the damage, 4 in the headshot. But comparing these, I think INV has brought in a lot, wherein ZT, most of their performance is spread out across the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is great because you want to spread out those numbers across the team to make sure everybody is battle ready, and it shows that they're engaging together as a squad. Not saying that INV does not do that, but you definitely have some heavier hitters on their side. But INV really needs to look out for the fact that they are good at picking up eliminations. They are not that great at consistently finding the final circle. So this is something they need to look into, because yes, the eliminations are definitely going to keep you surviving, but if you want to be champion of the competition, those booyahs do matter. A good chunk of the eliminations this time around pulled away by INV. Close to 25% of those went their way. But it was, again, not a crazy big number of overall eliminations, but decent, I guess.
Yeah, decent enough. I mean, not hitting the 100 point mark. And I think it's something that we have seen so far all throughout from this group B and C. They don't really give any chance for that Rose revive to happen that much. So they as much as possible, they end it right there, right then. And it's just no revive happening, no increase of elimination that would be done for the rest of the squad. Does the score remain low? And this is what we love as well, because there's no one team that's pulling away from the rest of the squad in terms of numbers, in terms of elimination. Other than 90 Petty, the rest of the squad are getting close to each other.
I totally agree with you, man. Yes, 90 Spaghetti has really put a distance between themselves and the other squads, especially ZT, Zeus Esports. But it seems also like Zeus is not really going all out. And I think this is a very big weakness that we saw in the previous season as well, but they kind of slowed things down. They didn't want to really show off, and then in grand finals, they just, did not get the job done. I think now is where they need to go all out, try to guarantee these Booyahs final circles for themselves instead of just going in for the wrong hunt. We're going to be taking a short break here. When we come back, the final 3 battles will commence, and it's not going to be between groups C and B. We are going to be welcoming groups A and D back into play. My name is AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, but the day is not over just yet. Take a short break. We will be right back with you in a little bit, and of course to see who else dominates in the other 2 groups.
Show me who I am, made me who I could become.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is the Free Fire World Series USA 2026 Summer Day 2 of the group stages. We're done with the first half of this day, and we're heading into the next set of group. On desk, I am Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia, joined by my brother, Sasho AJ, and we'll be your casters all throughout this tournament.
Celtic GG, Mia Corp, INB. I mean, these squads are all about to jump on into the fray. The big question is going to be if or not we're going to see big numbers, right? Because quite a number of Titans are in here. You've got Nova, you've got ZMF, and these are all heavy hitters in the competition so far. And this is where perhaps we might see some explosive action, or literally the opposite, because squads do acknowledge this fact and want to stay out of the heat until they get a little bit closer to a good chance of the Booyah.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, there's MiaCorp who we're not really seeing that much at this point. Hopefully, they're just hiding strats and not giving out that much so that they are prepared for the next battle at hand, which is EWC. But if they really want to show that they're dominant squad in this competition, in this region, we want them to show up in terms of numbers plus getting those Fuyas in. But we'll have to see, though, if they'll be able to make it work. In a bit, we're going to see leaderboard as well to see where they're placed and how much they need to go about to catch up with the rest squad who played from earlier's game.
Absolutely, man. Now, I can confirm, MiaCorp, you do not need to hold back because you're going to need every single lobby and the practice that is possible. We've got the leaderboard here for you guys once again, so you can take a quick look. Although Celtic GG has only 3 matches to their side, you can see that they are keeping up with the others who have completed 6 matches already. In fact, even doing better than teams like 1NT or Shadow 7 for the time being. So definitely a squad to look out for. Nova, Ruthless, MiaCorp, and if anything, I'm actually a little bit surprised that MiaCorp does not have more points on the leaderboard at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, MiaCorp has been slowing down from yesterday's battle, but I guess it's a momentum that they're not getting just yet. Because, again, for each group that we have for each day, they only play 3 matches. And with... I guess with the mix-up that we have in the groupings, they will need to warm up a little bit. So that's one thing that they need to do so much to understand who they're going against, what are the tactics of their opponents, and then adjust based on that.
Yeah, I do agree with you, man. But of course, sometimes it is also important to focus on your own strengths and maybe acknowledge a little bit of your weakness as well. Because again, like I said, we are looking at 2 different leaderboards here. We have smashed in 24 squads. So you're going to have 12 really good squads. And within the 12 really good squads, you're going to have some weak ones and you're going to have some strong ones. And then you're going to have those teams that are going to struggle to get into the top 12. And between them, they've got their own hierarchy, right? And the more important hierarchy is going to be the team that are in the bottom 12, because that's where the risk of elimination is. But the drama and the action and the fun is obviously the teams in the upper side of the 24 teams. I'm looking forward to this because many of these teams, again, they have played lesser matches. So obviously on the overall leaderboard, they will be a little bit further down towards the bottom. But what's good is we can now look forward to some solid games. We've got Nextera, Bermuda, Solara coming up for these 2 groups.
So out of the 2 games, we're going to end up with 4 Bermudas in the game. So plenty of practice for the teams, especially in that specific map. But I think for the upcoming days, within this weekend, there will be a lot of switch up and there will be a few more maps that would be introduced double within the game. But again, Nextera, looking forward to how the teams are going to bring this on. We're looking at Celtic Gaming, who would be one of the contenders in this fight, though they don't have the Booyah just yet, especially the groupings that they have from yesterday, but they did bring in a lot of elimination from yesterday's match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Celtic is a very exciting squad to watch in action. I can't wait to see them in performance again. There's a huge leap in terms of what they could do in the previous season versus what they are being able to prove out there now, which excites me. It's very nice to see teams really putting in the work because it's not impossible to go out there and have fun. But it is absolutely possible to go out there and have fun and forget that you need to put in the work, because this is literally work for these guys out there. Celtic Gaming, clearly one of those squads who have put in the work in both department, rotation as well as eliminations. Those mechanical skills have been sharpened. The meta play that they are on right now, I think they've definitely put in the homework, and their rotations are very, very solid. Very rare to see them get caught out, but of course that's left to be proven if they can be consistent with in these 3 matches here up against a different group.
Let's see though. Now the stage is set. Nextera is being prepped, and the teams are just waiting for the flight path to show up. And once we have that, we will be able to see who would be going to the early engagement. Again, this is a reset of the groupings right now, and some of the teams don't know that they might be dropping in with a different squad. So let's see who that is. But judging from the flight that we have, they're heading from Museum into somewhere around the eastern side of the map. So we want to see as to where some of the teams or most of the teams will be dropping in. And Intellect Center will be taken by 2 squad. That's Fisher Tiger and Celtic Gaming. It's not looking good for Fisher Tiger, but they're very low on that leaderboard.
Absolutely, man. And Royal Tigers are going to have a very good spot here since, like you said, the flight path started off from Museum. They were the first ones out of the flight and they made that U-turn, dropping right under them, which means they're the first ones to get loot, first ones to get these coins. Celtic GG, on the other hand, they are fishing some tigers out of these waters. And I think this tiger doesn't bite.
Oh, it's tough though. It's tough. I mean, they might just be the fish of the tiger that we have out of the Fisher Tiger right here. And Fury, bring in the Fury, but a backstab coming from Quoxy. Now here comes Olau, who is trying to go for that recovery and quick enough managed to do so. But great in glue wall placement, but not so much of backup coming from Fisher Tiger. They are losing this fight and they need to get away.
Celtic GG just being Celtic GG. Fisher Tiger, unfortunately, being Fisher Tiger. Nothing they can do. I think there's just a very big difference in terms of firepower and mechanical capability here. Fisher Tiger has just been that one squad that has done well to get to this stage, but teams like Celtic GG do prove to be a little hard to overwhelm. But right gun, right timing. Q-Thai, Mag 7 straight to the chest. And this is where it proves that you can't really underestimate your opponents and just go in there for a mad rush. That's just not the way to do it. Yeah. You have to respect your opponent, still stack the numbers up against him. Here comes Nachupi with the Bison. This distraction gets Nachupi the final shot in. And 4 points for the side of Celtic Gaming. First team out, and that's Fisher Tiger.
Yeah, Fisher Tiger, I don't think they will be moving enough to be able to climb up leaderboards. I don't think they get any point from that fight as well, so they will still have that 14 points carrying over from yesterday. Now, MiaCorp would have a first elimination, but they also lost one of their players. Now, we'll have to see, though, if they can take advantage of the position they have against 0-1, because 0-1, especially with Dell, he does have that elevation, but on the other side, we also are seeing Nova, but there you have it. Dez has been taken down. Nova might be invited in here, and MiaCorp might be in trouble.
MiaCorp is in a good situation here because they've got a lot of cover, and yes, Nova does have the high ground advantage and O1 Esports on the opposite side. But as long as Mia doesn't step out of this mud site compound, they don't have to do much. And I'm very sure that it'll irritate their opponents to just cut the distance a little bit closer, which means no high ground advantage. And Mia will be able to bag them. Lucas, beautiful shot there with the FGL. Gets Fury, puts him down onto the ground. Celtic Gaming up against DZ. Now, this is a squad that can definitely put up a strong fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen from yesterday that they are very aggressive. DZ is one of the team that has brought in a decent amount of elimination this fight, but it's more survivability that we're looking for them. And I'm just looking forward to how well they'll be able to survive this time around, because comparing to those at the bottom, they're the ones with a double-digit elimination, but again, they need to get placement. And Hugo right now being taken down, DZ can take advantage of this from the initial fight and then just move on later on. We know that they have the firepower, but they need to get those booyahs in as well.
Oh, Lautas just out in the open, just could not do much, had to get away from the cryo mine and get sprayed down instead. DZ's playing this perfectly up against Celtic. Lucas gets brought back in, and Nachupi says it's just not worth it. Initially, the revive players were going in there for the rechal, but Celtic, understanding that it is more important to truly recover before looking for another battle. They were just truly not ready to face off against DZ. I think they were still recovering from that previous fight.
I do agree, and that's that quickness of recovery is really needed, because you don't expect everyone to just go against you one at a time, like team versus team.
Yeah,
you will expect a lot of third parties, especially when we go for that global stage. But Cryo Mine on the Fury and the takedown instantly by the rest of the squad. They know exactly where they're heading, especially with the UAV that they put up, and DZ just planned it out, ironed the team out that quickly. But it's not over for Celtic Gaming, I believe they did manage to go for a revive away from this area, but hopefully the next area that they will be holding would have them on better defensive, because Nachupi is already on that hit list, and it's a good thing that Nachupi is pulling away from the rest of the squad. But who is in contention in that vending machine? It's Flash Esports, who will be guarding them and might be forced to battle against DZ.
Yeah, I don't know if or not Flash is going to be ready for this battle. DZ finding... Oh, Crazy Minds. By the way, quick update, guys. Crazy Minds, they've had a point deduction yesterday, so they've lost their points. They're at the very moment at the bottom of the leaderboard with nothing. So they're starting afresh. So, yeah, they need a lot. And clearly, if they get shot out of their vehicles like this again and again, DZ is not going to allow Crazy Minds to pick up a lot of these points here.
Yeah, well, definitely. Speaking of points, earlier we've seen a bunch of feeds coming in, and I guess that's a battle of 01 and Nova that we were waiting to happen earlier, to unfold earlier. But into Zipway we have Flash, and there's no contention, but they did manage to get 5 on elimination. We have a hit list triggered as well, but we've yet to see who would be the target. Tornado being taken down by QE Moreno, and judging from where they are right now, QE is outside, might be outside of the zone, and they will need to move fast later on because the zone's closing in.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Alex with the M590. DZ, easy peasy. Once again, ZMF. I mean, dude, they are taking on everyone today, aren't they? DC needs to be really careful, though, because they're a team that's good mechanically, but they have been having a rough track record finding the circle. Very low on the placement points.
Yep.
And they're kind of repeating that same pattern here right now. They just have to be careful with it. At this point of time, the priority is going to be the rotations and no longer those eliminations. Although, man, they're looking fine right now.
Exactly. I mean, every team that they go against is being brought down. But this is Battle of Nova Esports. 3 elimination. I guess most of the elimination is coming from the takedown against 01 Sports. But now, or 01 Esports, now they push them away from vending machine. So any knockdown or any takedown would require 01 Esports to move into a different area, away from Plazaria. But judging from where that zone was when we were having our DZ on our POV, it's way up north right now. And Plazaria is somewhat in the middle, or somewhat in the southern part, and the zone's closing in, so they need, both teams, Nova and 01, they need to end this fast or prepare for a plan of exit, because the zones will be closing in, and that would help the winning team to reduce the damage or reduce the HP from the other side.
I agree, man. Santi down. Oh, QE getting involved in this battle. That's the third party. And they will be able to take down Low-Tech's bow as well. And it looks like 01 Esports will not be able to make it out of this one. There is a vending machine nearby. Nova can take advantage as well. Van Dijk will be able to find Wah. 01 Esports left in the final survivor here. Santi again knocked down to the ground. Nova punishing them. And here comes Nova looking for the QE players. The instant ambush. And the CQC with the M590s will get them 2 players off QE. Reyes can still turn around, get out of here, but he wants to force the case.
Oh, let's see if they can force it. In this fight, only 1 remains for QE, and that was a mistake from QE. They didn't read the situation wherein the 2 team is fighting against each other. After that knock, that's when they use a launch pad to jump above, or not even above, directly into the knock player. But they didn't expect that there's Nova in there waiting for them, and Nova just capitalizes in most of those engagements. So let's see on how well QE will be able to recover their teammates. Same goes with Nova as they push themselves into the next zone.
Smart play by Celtic so far. We did say they have to tone down and play recovery, and they have been very quiet ever since. Just focusing on the looting progress, getting everything that they need for the final battle prepped on their side before they jump into another battle. And Ruthless is going to be a good team to test things out on, providing they can find these angles, because of course Nextera as usual has got a lot of these compounds to play around with for defense. Rafa M24 level 2, great shot onto Lautards. Has got the VSK as well, functioning as the sniper of the Ruthless squad. They are in a decent place, and it looks like the circle wants to favor them a little bit as well. Celtic will have to make a big rotation here.
Yeah, I mean, big rotation indeed. Hopefully they can get away from sights of Ruthless. Otherwise, they will be sniped as they make that flank. But Nachupi, shoulder shot on the players of Ruthless, and Ruthless is trying to fight back. Now, if you want to be silent, at least get away from shooting anyone, or from what Nachupi has been doing in so many cases, just be providing them with a distraction. But speaking of distraction, not distracted at all by Ruthless. He's just gunning players from Royal Tigers like fish in a barrel.
Yeah, but, I mean, when you see a flying tiger, you gotta shoot it, man. Okay, you can't waste the opportunity.
You gotta be scared, bro. You see a flying tiger.
You see a flying tiger, you gotta shoot it because you can't take the risk, right? That guy can fly. You are toast. 12 eliminations for Celtic. They're doing real well, and Royal Tigers final player eliminated by DZ Lucas. Ruthless have got a decent circle once again. Celtic have not made the move. As I say that, Mini Launcher launches one player onto the roof. Second player now onto the roof who calls clear. Ruthless right down below. FGL will force them back. So they will not be able to stop this rotation by Celtic GG. Two more players need to move, but they're far away from those launch pads. King Gold here from Nova. Just playing fishing at this point of time with his high ground.
On the other side, battle is happening, and Celtic GG is just dipping their fingers in there. It's taking down players from both QE as well as Crazy Mind. But no confirmation just yet. Hugo and Nachupi was forced to run into this area. Not quite sure if that's a good plan, because snipers or like Hugo needs to be on high ground, and he has missed the opportunity for launchpad. And Ruthless right now have been waiting, saving their resources right now for that rush that they have been anticipating from Celtic.
Yeah, there's no way the next circle is going to be on their compound. So Celtic and Ruthless need to sort this out right here, right now, quickly, or just abandon this project and both get into the next zone. This is a very risky play here. Lautas jumping on Enraper, knocked down onto the ground. Just circling around in the maze of blue walls. No Valiant Dash available for them. Lautas gets knocked down. Fury's with the Mag 7 from the back, and Ruthless will be shut down because Furious picks up 3 eliminations with the Mag 7.
All right, now that this next shift of circle has shown up, now the plan would be for Celtic Gaming, go for that Twin Bridge vending machine, or just stay with the 3-man strong. They still have the firepower though. They managed to take down Reyes from the other side, and I'm seeing the pattern right now for side of Celtic Gaming. They are aiming at opponents on areas where they want to land on those launch pads. And this is somewhat deadly for side of Celtic Gaming, because if that read can be done by the other team, so so much more when they're in the fight.
Okay, QE just pissing off Celtic right now. Fury down on the ground. Instant pickup coming on through. Nachupi needs to punish. M24 finds Moreno, but no knockdown just yet. Now onto the bridge they go. Celtic Gaming is going to be pressured by 2 other squads. It's going to be DZ as well as QE taking aim at them. Miakop on the left as well. But a very smart play, like trolls under the bridge. Celtic Gaming using this S cover, flanking around the left-hand side. Miakop, you're about to be ambushed as Celtic goes for a revival.
Looking at the plan right now, Miacorp might be taken down. There goes Nachupi for the shot. And also they have a vending machine on them, so they can go for a revive for the final player for Celtic Gaming. DZ though received a lot of damage, but they still have the next phase of the circle. But as we look at Miacorp, they do manage to go for a pickup, I believe, and they're still waiting for the opportunity to shoot down against Celtic Gaming. Since Celtic Gaming didn't go for that finisher against Miacorp, they back away, but hopefully they can get in the next phase, because this will definitely hurt.
Yeah, DZ just spotting out Miakop running straight towards them, and that's the perfect cover for Celtic Gaming here. Again, right under the bridge for another quick rotation coming on through. Lautats punishes Miakop this time round. Kappa down on the ground. DZ still 4-man strong as Celtic makes it into the circle. DZ looking strong for a booyah here, but they need to be aware of what Nova can do to them from the opposite side. Lautas pulls out the time turner. Fury sprayed down by Mia. Great revenge pulled off here by Miacorp. And the one final survivor from Celtic will not be able to do much as Vex takes him out. DZ is the one that puts the final nail on the coffin here for Celtic.
It's quite surprisingly. I mean, DZ has a lot of elimination already, but the elimination leader is coming from Nova Esports. Managed to take down Crazy Minds. Now we have 6 teams remaining. The only question, though, is how many players do they have from the other side? Because 15 survivors out here in the final shift of the circle is not looking good for anyone trying to take that booyah. A lot of surprise, a lot of third party might be happening, especially with those skills available for them, where QE managed to pull off that stealth bites and they can get below DZ that quickly.
Yeah, well-layered glue walls here by DZ just to make sure QE doesn't have a great line of sight up against them, and ZMF helps them out by shutting down QE from the back. Not by intention, they were just passing by and they said, hey, 3 points, man. And they started taking those shots. DZ will be able to take advantage here as the circle now starts to favor them. They were the first ones to take advantage of the movement of the zone. Nova being ignored. QE looking back, taking down Wendike. But the rest of them have made that full rotation. Jans now about to face the fury of QE for interfering early on.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, he did use that stealth bites already, and he pulled out that glue wall, putting him in the target for the rest of the team. Damage from the zone also is hot. And Miacorp has lost their final player, Biblico. Lucas is the one from DC, managed to pull that off, and they are now the elimination leader. Now, will they be able to complete this task of getting plenty of elimination and getting the booyah as well? There's only one team in contention. It's QE, and Moreno couldn't even survive that next phase of the circle, but it is now closing in. UAV has shown their location, and DZ is preparing for the battle at hand.
Yeah, Circle's definitely savage, man. DZ, 4 players strong, looking for the booyah. QE still can prevent this. But they gotta play it smart, and that's what I'm talking about. Lucas almost taken down there. And it is Reyes with the Car 98 getting the job done.
Oh no.
Nate being cooked up here. Timing could be everything for this booyah between QE and DZ.
Oh, CCMF has been spotted, smelled by the wolf. DZ right now will end Yanzi, and ZMF ends up in 3rd. Now, DZ can focus more on QE. Will they be able to make that shot, though? Because this, once you step in, it will be open ground. And what everyone is finding right now is the center of this circle. If they can go for a flank, probably make a surprise hit from a rooftop, and that's the best opportunity that DZ or either QE can take. But it takes a lot of time, and phase 6 going into 7 as it closes in is now happening.
20 elimination strong. DZ. This is the recovery game for them for sure. Oh! They get to climb up in a solid way here. 21 eliminations. Pulgoita stepping on out. Valiant dash working perfectly, but the time turner response by Dr. Beck. M590 and the cryo mine barely does anything to them. DZ loses 2 players in that equation. QE with the 1 final survivor. Lucas needs to go and get the job done. Reyes gets the confirmation, couldn't pick up his team member just yet. Now goes in for the attempt. Crazy back up on his feet. Hits a 2v2.
It's a 2v2 and the window has been used, but Calvin was waiting for the minigun has been deployed, but they know exactly where the team of QE will be coming from. A quick recovery coming from the team, and hopefully they can wait for the cooldown of those skills as well. But from what we're seeing right now, they managed to save a lot of glue walls. They're forcing QE to stay inside of Twin Bridge building, and they will just let them burn.
Yeah, no Riptide Rhythm. You're about to get cooked, bro. Come on, barricade it up, DZ. Let's see the most savage annihilation right here, right now, through the circle. They're playing the game of Medkit. And DZ just needs to focus. Oh, they're gonna go and break it. And they sneak in just to see the players try to survive. And he's got faith in Calvin patching himself right back up. And it will be a booyah worn through the medkits. DZ just absolutely brilliant. He had to check, man. He was like, wait, are they really going to survive this one? I don't know how. But of course, you got to respect the opposing team. Time turner before the medkit play just to make sure DZ could not sneak in and shoot them down.
And then that's one thing now. I mean, if you see them like healing up, you would have an idea on how, or not healing up, well, their position throughout the door. Because you have an idea how much time is needed for them to move out of the door, if you need to shoot them down, or if they manage to survive. can also see some visual cues if they have the healing UAV, but judging from that position, it would hit the wall and it would stop right there on that spot. So it doesn't do well for the opponents, but DZ played that well from beginning towards the end. They managed to get that booyah with different styles overall.
You gotta love it, man. I mean, double barricading the door, throwing out the glue UAV, just so these guys who are just savage in the final circle. Unfortunate that we didn't get a shot of those players getting knocked out by the circle. I mean, it was planned out perfectly, and they knew they were toast because you've got two options. The first option is play the medkit early. Second option is shoot down the glue wall and risk being taken down and still giving the booyah away. They wanted to bet on the medkits, just not the right bet for them, because obviously they were going to take damage first based on where they were in that final circle. So they just didn't think it through. DZ, on the other hand, they thought the whole game through.
And that's one thing though. We saw 20 plus elimination coming from DZ. That's just a total elimination that they have from yesterday. And they did it in one game. We did ask them that they need to work on placement point. They are listening. They didn't just work for a placement point. They worked for the booyah. So I'm really loving this kind of team, the adjustment that they're doing right now. I think they're getting comfortable with the groupings that we have, even with the Titans that is introduced into the mix. They're not really phased at all. The mindset would be just to focus on your strength, work with what you have, and then deal with them later on if it really matters.
Absolutely, man. And I do agree with you. Just through eliminations alone, they match up to what they did through 3 matches. They walk away with the booyah. And this is a great, great day for DZ Esports. Yes, yesterday they were playing the placement points. They could barely find those eliminations. It's a very different kind of game. Celtic Gaming started off this one strong. But they kind of lost the plot like halfway through. But I don't blame them because Celtic GG is just messing around at this point of time. They're not the kind of team that really wants to climb up the leaderboard, sit at the very top. We know they're not that team. Hugo, of course, very flashy. I would like to see more shots from him though. He's been quite subdued. And I was thinking this was his meta.
I mean, this is meta right now. This is the final moment. Overall, Calvin was just left in there to recover. They know they have super medkits, and there's little no chance for the opponents to go against them. So DZ Esports, smart move. Even the position that they have from most of the engagement in that area, and the compound they're holding in, it's just really difficult to go against them. And even their plan of approach in every engagement, they don't just rush in blind. They are tactical in every different way. But our MVP would be Lucas with 9 elimination, 3 assists, 5,344 in damage using that Skylar Riptide Rhythm. We have Raphael, Moko, and Maro standard sniper build with a Car 9A that has shown up so many times into these matches, and of course that pet is an Arvan.
We still don't know if this is Lucas High, right? Because he definitely plays like Lucas High. 9 eliminations, 5.3k on the damage, no headshots, no problem. I mean, Nyx will flex that over him, but of course Lucas will say I have more elimination points. So who wins this battle? Nyx from Mirkop doing fairly decent this time round, but obviously nowhere near as DZ, right? DZ has got the ex-players from some of the best groups that we have seen in the past competitions, and even a player off of Celtic as well on their side. They are a monster and one that can definitely dance around out the battlefield quite a little bit, and they proved it in this lobby. 22 eliminations, 103 overall eliminations from this lobby.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is higher elimination, and we've seen that so many times in Nextera. They love Nextera map.
Yeah.
Most elimination coming from here. I don't know if it's probably the number of vending machine that is available, or because of there's a lot of compounds to work with when it comes to Nextera. So there's plenty of a chance to hide away, revive your teammates, and then increase the odds of other teams, or if not your team, to get elimination as well. So there you have it. Nextera is already over. We will be seeing in a bit how much the team has managed to get into those plays, but I'm really loving that group A and D is not slowing down. The numbers is just rolling in, and there's only a few that's just popping up.
Yeah, I definitely expect it to be a little bit more awake for this grouping because, you know, much more exciting fights. The first two, unfortunately, the first 3 games were very slow, very well paced out. You didn't see very big numbers there because the teams were a little bit more conservative with how they play. They were being very careful with each other. We did see a lot of the Group C teams try to avoid 90 Piketty, who was just being absolute monsters. But in the overall grand scheme of things, I think the pace has picked up perfectly well. Now we are obviously just trimming down the number of games that we've got overall available. We've got a couple of more to still play, and you can see the steady climb up by Celtic GG. Although they didn't really get the best out of this match, but the rest of the consistent runs that they've had still keeps them at the very top.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see though. I'm really looking forward to how DZ Esports managed to climb up. So from the right of the leaderboard, 22nd, now they're on 12. 10 spot jump coming from DZ Esports. That definitely is what they need right now. And now that you're thinking about it, with that performance, I do believe that Lucas is Lucas High.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think there's no way that's not Lucas High. And Celtic, I'm absolutely in love with the squad, mainly because of Hugo. Hugo has been one of the best snipers. This should technically be his season, his meta, but we're not seeing Hugo be Hugo at this point of time, right? In fact, the only player that was kind of enabling Celtic GG in the past was Hugo because of the kind of wild positions that he has to used to hold on to. And that just used to allow the rest of the team members on the ground to go absolutely crazy, looking for these eliminations. And they're still good. They're still capable of doing that. But they seem to have switched up their strategy for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what reason it is. Probably they're doing something different, similar to what we're seeing from MiaCorp. But Celtic GG just need to bring in that signature move that they have. If Hugo is one of that signature player they have, then they need to capitalize and work around them. Remember in the global scene, remember in some of the other regions, if your sniper is doing quite well, the other teams need to adjust and just move as a team. It's not the other way around, because the best player should be the standards for the whole squad.
I totally agree. I think, and some of these movements need to be dictated more by the sniper rather than the rushes on the battleground, because it's usually the sniper that has got a greater vision of what's happening based on the high ground that they hold on to, or a little bit of a split push to have better angles to give that information back so that the rushes can get the job done. But of course, that's all based on whatever we've seen the past 5 years watching Free Fire Esports. How they do it here in the USA, as long as it gets the job done, man, I'm not going to complain at all. 90 Piketty reached the top. I'm just looking for somebody out of Group A and D to climb up to the top and sit beside these groups of C and B as well. We've got 2 more games to do that. Celtic GG just needs about 40 points.
Well, let's see though. I mean, they need about 40 points. They might be able to do it, to be able to catch up. But let's see though, if this is a good plan, a good map for them to work it out. Back to Bermuda we go. DZ Esports in our POVs. We're just waiting where they will be dropping into Peak, where champions definitely roam. There's a mansion for them. And we can see the champion spirit especially from the previous match. No one in contention out of Peak right now. And I don't think anyone would be dropping hot in this area, in this map, because they played Bermuda so much time with so much time already. They know exactly where the teams will be dropping.
Sorry, Celtic doesn't need 40. Celtic needs about 20. And 20 is actually very doable through 2 games. So GG Celtic. Or Celtic GG, either way. MiaCorp up against Flash. 4v4, easy fight should be for MiaCorp here. Flaking taken out of the equation. If anything, he is the savior of this squad when it comes to these tricky situations. 2v1, Mateos and Replik will be able to take Kappa down. Biblix also shot down. It's a 2-for-2 so far. MiaCorp up against Flash. Things are not looking good for Mia, but they should be able to force the case here. And they do exactly that. Simba taken down. Mateos all alone. And as he tries to run away, he's about to say hello to somebody else a little bit more savage. Here's ZMF.
Say hello to ZMF, and Flash would be gone in the flash. Less than 2 minutes for them to be taken out. Crazy Mind would be into the mix as well. Well, let's see if they will capitalize on this. Binocular is being used, and Kevin has been taken down. Vendas now will try to go for a Vendetta, and goes in for that revive as well. Does have enough, or probably not. Does a distraction for Rez's squad. But Vendes did manage to deal with Josh Burr as well as a few players right here. And Crazy Mind doing some crazy stunts, dealing with a couple of teams that they don't know was in here.
Yeah, they need to recover the points they lost yesterday, man, due to that penalty. So, in fact, I think they should have done this in the previous game already.
Oh, yeah.
A little slow to that action, but as long as they are focused on it, I'm not going to complain at all. Mayora, Frucalito, we know they are capable of pulling in these big numbers. And Celtic GG, oh man, they are back to fishing some tigers.
Well, thing about Fisher Tiger is they can come back, especially if they have enough coins. And with the 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, they've gathered enough resources already to bring back their teammates, CMF, Yanzi. And this is the final player from CMF who managed to take that third spot earlier because of survivability. It's just unfortunate that they couldn't get away from the crazy, crazy minds. But Royal Tigers, well, they will find another Tiger, which is Fisher Tiger. So let's see which is above the other. Flash being taken down. And it is from the other side. Celtic Gaming is the one dealing with them. They're going for the chase against Royal Tigers, but they will see another set of Tigers right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Royal Tigers, Fisher Tiger. And these Tigers are tagging each other in, man. What's up? All of a sudden, watching wrestling, not the professional kind, the entertainment kind. And Hugo, man, shut down by Lucas. DZ out of nowhere. We've got a three-way. DZ about to join the party.
Let's see now. I mean, coming from peak, it's a long run, but judging from the performance coming from DZ earlier, they're trying to listen in on those gunshots. But Hugo will be back in play after being revived as quickly as that, but Lautas will just be a distraction against Royal Tigers. The knockdown has happened already from the hands of Yuri from the other side, and the pinch is being done with just a marksman. We have AC-80 from Lautas, we have a Woodpecker coming from the other side as well, and Celtic Gaming might be able to clean this up.
I mean, Celtic, what can I say? Expert tiger hunters, although it's illegal in many parts of the world right now. They should not be doing it. We should be rehabilitating these animals. Royal Tigers, Fisher Tiger especially, about to get extinct. They're way too close to the bottom. Yeah, and Biblix.
No!
There's a little bit of revenge play there, but Crazy Minds just had a crazy number of players all around him. And obviously Mia back on the reset once again.
Yeah, well, Crazy Mind right now, definitely on a catch-up mission. And Corp is just unfortunate that but that glue wall was delayed, letting one player from Crazy Mind to get in. If he managed to pull it off, he can finish off the opponent, one player from Crazy Mind, and then heal up, and if needed, go for a revive for the rest of the squad before those glue walls has been goes down crashing. But Crazy Mind just are crazy at this point, leaving Mia behind. But look at Josh Fur being chased by Nova and heading back to Crazy Mind. So hopefully this is just a fluke and they can just force these teams to battle against each other.
Absolutely. DZ earlier interfered in the Celtic gameplay. Now they look to play the rotation out towards the vending machine. That's not in the current playable zone. They take a little bit of damage, but they've got the team boosters on with 6 boost equipped. So yeah, they'll be able to tank a couple of extra circles without a problem whatsoever and join us later for the battle. Nova at the factory, probably looking to clean up the remaining players of Mia, and also with a potential appointment up against the Crazy Minds players who are on a mad farming mission, because once again, they got some point deductions from yesterday. They got 7 points already from the previous match, and now they are on a fantastic run as well. They might just be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, judging from what DZ has done, they might be able to do so, but they need to break down most of the top contenders in this fight. But Nova might be meeting up with ZMF, another team that has been aggressive, especially in the survival stage, but they need to make a lot of adjustment. They didn't show up that much, I believe, from yesterday's game, so now is a chance that they can show up like Crazy Mind. Spotted Kevin might be taken down, half an HP already, tries to heal up, but King Goat is not giving up as well on those shots. Just jumping, looking for a better angle, but I don't think there it is needed for him. He needs to get up close and personal, but Bandic has been taken down, so that's a little bit of distraction from Nova right here. Even King Goat has been knocked down as well. Nova needs to move out quick.
Yeah, T-Kill has got the coins. Brings Van Dyke and King Goat right back in here. Nova, just a single elimination up against EMF, who are very proficient up close and personal. Right gun, but Hayate just went on a spraying mission there inside the time turner. Almost got punished for that move. But lucky for him, no other players on the side of ZMF there. A little bit of a panic play. Everybody gets that sometimes. T-Kill, beautiful AWM shot. Van Dyke back in here as well off of that revival, but sprayed down by Uziel. Nova wants to play the game of numbers. Ice Grenade will keep Van Dyke on the ground. No, he runs away from them. And now Uziel's going to be pressured. What a follow-up by T-Kill.
Talk about T-Kill on the tee on that elimination. And now they have dealt with most of the opponents right there. Only Van Dyke would be in here, but Fisher Tiger would be able to go in for that rotation. Let's see if Celtic can take advantage of this. It's only Quoxy who's in there, but trying to go for the vending machine. I don't know if he even heard that engagement happening, or probably because the shots already died down, then he was thinking that's already safe. But you have to wait for a few minutes, especially when we're talking about Clock Tower. Clock might be ticking, but it's not ticking that fast.
The one thing that these players definitely need to do is watch more live broadcasts of our Free Fire esports from the other regions as well, right? Because survival, revival, very straightforward process. You don't necessarily need to do it in a compound where two other squads are fighting. You know, many vending machines are available. Right. And Fish and Tiger just making the wrong decision there. No binoculars use, no UAV. That's just not going to put your squad in the right place. And this is so early in the game. You're not even at 8 minutes. The guy could have just gone outside the safe zone and brought the squad members back. So Fisher Tiger is just running in here with a bunch of decisions that are definitely not helping them out. Now, Crazy Minds have joined this party. Nova against Celtic. These are three good squads. And Crazy Minds are the weakest. And that's crazy to say out of these three. So they have to be careful.
Well, speaking of careful, you be careful when you have Hugo and a snipe right there. Even peeking for a moment would cost you your life. Now, Celtic Gaming already prepped for the rush. Fury cooking a nade, but glue wall. It would not hit anyone from the team of Nova. I don't think they've heard anything from Crazy Mind just yet. What? Great boost being done. Is this enough for them? I believe they've already moved up one spot. But there goes Hayate trying to block out that stairs as well. So, thou shalt not pass, says the team of Nova.
Fury stepping on in. You look at the barricade of glue walls there. Nova has just blocked off every single stairway. But Hugo right at the top. Spots one. King Goat. Oh, man. Misses that opportunity. T-Kill. One spot on him. Van Dyke attacking from the back. Perfect flank here for Nova as they head on in here. Celtic Gaming might have just stepped into the kill house, and Nova's taking advantage of this mistake. Calvin, DZ finding the players on the side of Miacorp as well as this action breaks down between Nova and Celtic. Furies with the M590 could not get out of the maze of glue walls. And what a bad move by Celtic there. They had to abandon the vending machine as well. And ZMF could be able to cut off the rotation off of Celtic here as the CM squad, Crazy Minds, tag in to settle the score with Nova.
Oh, let's see now. I mean, Nova, 4-man strong. They need to recover quick because Crazy Minds are going, or will be going crazy. Well, we've just witnessed Miacorp as well being eliminated in their out of feed. But one player from Celtic, Nachupi, similar to what we've seen in Quoxy from Fisher Tiger, I think he's going to force himself in with that vending machine and go for a revive. It would be tough, but I think with the distraction that might be coming from either Crazy Mind, QE, or O1, he might be able to pull it off. But there you have it. It's Lodix bound from O1 who managed to take him down out of his skill. And I think that's a cryo mine they used for him to go down. So, Celtic will not be we will not be seeing them on that final moment. CMF right now slowly moving into the middle of the next phase of the circle where everyone is.
Oh, smooth criminals, but Venda just did not be one with nature. He was not one with the tree. In fact, he was two. He had his butt sticking out. Sniped very easily by QE here. And it is a situation where everybody has managed to rotate around in. ZMF now just in a little bit of a pickle because they need that vending machine.
Well, let's see now. Nova is already guarding the central area of Clock Tower. Royal targets will be eliminated by DC. But compared to the play that we've seen earlier, DC was not favored by the faces of the circle. So they need to move, and with every movement, they couldn't get as much elimination as possible. So it's a slow pace for DC right now, but hopefully they can get into at least any area within the Clock Tower, and then they can bring their reign back. Otherwise, it's just Nova who will be capitalizing on their position right now and try to take down, or if not, take down everyone around them.
Let's see if another 8 eliminations. Oh man, what a rotation. DZ jumping on in. Not having to worry much about ZMF. Uh-oh. Uziel is caught out. Oh, DZ Alex. M590. Easy peasy for them.
What?
ZMF snuffed out. Just bad rotations overall. ZMF, such a crazy good squad with the mechanical skills, just making big mistakes on the rotation this time around, and they will be punished for it. But DZ's looking solid. They've got a clear space here to work around with, and they've avoided most of the engagements, but Ruthless making slow rotation round. One player already inside the zone, giving them the rest of the information. DZ has to be careful with this. If Ruthless gets that backup, then perhaps DZ might get challenged, because Ruthless will want a defensive spot for themselves.
Yeah. Well, let's see though if they can bring that in. Lightning Zone already triggered. And I believe it is DZ managed to pull it off. Now, let's see on this end of final shrink for the 5th phase. Will they be able to get some cover? 0-1 gets a cover that QE has been aiming for. There goes a Cryo Mine on Pulgita. Lil Flea just knocked out that Lil Flea that's trying to bite off his HP. But he needs to move away together with the rest of the squad. He needs to hide off because the Lightning Zone, it might expire a few more seconds. And this shift would be crucial. Where will it go, though? That is the biggest question that everyone has in mind.
What kind of flea tries to bite another flea, man?
Right,
no moral
hungry
codes. Hungry flea. You got that right, man. Reyes, VSK, Raven down. Purkalito finds one as well. I think he sneaks that elimination off of him. Crazy Minds not looking so crazy right now to jump into action. This is way too crowded, and they are too smart for that mistake, Reyes. Oh, Riptide Rhythm. 2 teams attacking them at the same time. Another Riptide Rhythm. Lucas, AWM. Everything fine in the connection, and QE forced back. Pulgita on his feet. Looking for that pickup. Double glue wall. Triple glue wall. Could not save Reyes in that situation. Pulgita now needs to save himself from this equation. Circle's gonna pressure QE as well, and everybody else knows that. DZ and Noah pelting them down.
Oh, QE didn't expect that to happen because they were just expecting 0-1 who moved close to them. Even 0-1 didn't know what's happening out there. They're just watching QE fall down, and they couldn't they couldn't decipher where the shots are coming from. But now, next phase of the circle has shown up. The shrink is happening. Ruthless right now, ruthlessly being taken down, especially with the God Gate coming from Calvin. 12 elimination already, and they can deal with a couple that easily as they are forced to go in by that zone.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And very smart for DZ. They read the circles very well, understanding which squad is going to be at a disadvantage with the circle, and they play the pressure on them. A double Lightning Zone pulled out, and it is 0-1 Esports that will have their Lightning Zone in the final circle. This one and the next one as it moves, so everybody needs to be careful. Crazy Minds finally jumping into action. Nade onto a player from the side of DZ. The Crazy Minds with the advantage here, but with so much of chaos, 16 players, how do you move?
Yeah, there's little to no chance of moving. They're like packed sardines right now in a small circle. And that sardine can is about to be shaken right now, deeper into the open. So let's see on how well these teams are going to capitalize on that. Nova is one that has a better view out of the 4 teams that we have right now. So I'm hoping that they get a clear view, but they are being left out right now with DZ. Every angle they take, they are making those shots in, and they're trying to steal it away, but no! DZ says no, you can't take it away from us, Nova.
Yeah, DZ, beautiful stuff here. 17 eliminations already. Lucas knocked down to the ground. Can Hayate find the finisher though? Answer is no. And here comes the one and only Crazy Minds. This time in an appointment up against DZ, who trying to break down those glue walls. Once again, those defenses get erected and it pushes DZ away from them. Very smart defense here by Crazy Minds. And Nova a little bit smarter. Mini launcher launching themselves right behind Crazy Mind. And this backstab is going to be deadly. Nova now turned into the attackers, crushing Crazy Minds and their opportunity.
They forced Crazy Mind to go against Nova. I'm not quite sure if they have information already. They probably laid out a UAV and just decided that we need to move out because here comes the team of Nova moving in against Crazy Mind. But unfortunately, not everyone from DC is surviving. What we see, Nova has a better advantage right now. 13 elimination already. Hayate can be picked up, but I don't think they can buy enough time. It's now a 2v3 situation. Oh, make that a 1v3 situation. And Nova Esports now taking advantage of their numbers.
Yeah, this is no way DZ makes this 1v4 happen. Nova walk away with a solid booyah. This was well strategized, great rotations overall. And the shots out of King, Goat, Van Dyke, they almost got annihilated a couple of times, but it's all about the recovery for the squad. And they understood they don't need to get super aggressive. They don't need to force the case and look like the superstars out there. They just need to be consistent. And Nova is just one of those guys that can guarantee consistency, although not a single booyah. So this is dangerous for a team that is looking to get into the grand finals because they're definitely looking like a grand finals worthy squad. But when they get there, collecting points is going to be secondary. It's going to be the booyah after they collect the points to become the champion.
Well, let's see. I mean, we're just waiting for numbers to come in as well. But judging from what we've seen, DZ did manage to get to the final circle when we thought they were already counted out. They got that booyah. They have a lot of elimination already out of that game. They moved up from the second half to the first half quite drastically, 10 points. But with that number that we've seen on the latter part of the game, even if they didn't get that booyah, they get second place. They still have 9 points. But together with elimination points, I think that's 2 or 3 spots that they can move up higher in the leaderboard.
Absolutely. Celtic GG this time around, you didn't really see them go as far as they would have wanted for themselves, right? I think they got caught out a little bit too early. Mia Corp as well, not really showing us great gunfights. But we said the same thing about Mia Corp before they went to the grand finals, and then at the grand finals, they just ran away with it. You gotta appreciate Champion Rush for that particular factor, right? Anybody can become champion as long as they can find some decent rounds and guarantee that booyah for themselves at the right time. Celtic Game is just one of those squads. Nova is one of those squads as well. They just need to keep themselves ready for all action. Again, the exit strategy has not been witnessed a lot in this lobby.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot more that needs to be done in terms of planning that exit, planning that the approach in every phase of circle. But it's tough to say though if it can be seen because I'm not seeing any pattern from all the teams, which is good because they're making those adjustments. And if you don't see a pattern, you couldn't even make a plan on how you can exit. You can only assume that the teams will be thinking this way and then make a plan for that. But what you have to do is build up a whole library of plans and then practice and practice and practice. Probably that's one thing that the team has been doing right now, getting used to the plans that they have so that once we get into grand finals, if they make to the grand finals, it's just instant. They see the situation, they put that plan into play.
Absolutely, man. And of course, towards the very end, Nova, decision-making supremacy here for the squad. And in terms of aggression, in terms of timing these moves to take the fight, I think they played it really well. The rotation was strong. They had a little bit of an advantage with the way the final circle was moving, but it is all about how they took that advantage and they ran with it. So great booyah, well-deserved here for the side of Nova. They pick up, I believe, their very first booyah within this stage of their run. 4 eliminations for Mr. Van Dyke here. 7 assists, 1,797 on the damage. Rocking the Narrow, I think the Cryo Mine was very much impactful in a lot of these engagements. And just like the A124, he's one of the guys that starts off these engagements. The moment the cryo mine is tossed out, it's followed up by a few lethals off of the grenades. And he's a good all-rounder because he's someone who can take the fight up close and personal as well as the long range with Moro and Raphael.
Yeah, I'm looking at the head-to-head right now. This is the most decent head-to-head that we've seen so far in terms of elimination. Damage, not that much, but you can see that experience coming from Hayate. Remember, coming from the Red Eagles, he still represents with that EA tag, but coming from Red Eagles, we've seen that recovery play from like comparing the beginning towards the end of the spring season. He's still bringing that in. He's still teaching that, or if not, relaying it to the rest of the squad. So hopefully it continues. But for Alex right there, we seldom see Alex out there on the MVP board. It's more of Lucas or everyone else. But this is the only day that we've seen DZ really outperform themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. 18 eliminations, DZ Esports. Again, we definitely suspect that Lucas is Lucas High because Vipex is currently not here. They missed out on the competition. And this team obviously should be scrambled around somewhere, right? Total headshots 27, 75 total eliminations, 101 total knocks. This was a decent game for sure as we stepped on into the map. We've got one more match to go, Neptune, and it looks like Nexterra Bermuda obviously gave us a lot of action, but the final game questions is going to be where will we have the okay, wait, actually we don't have the randomizer today, so we will be moving on into Solara. Finally we get to see the slide rails again.
Yeah, Solara, I mean, we have 2 Bermudas for today. Solara would be our last game, and it's even more deadlier, especially for DZ, because if you have that movement compared to what we've seen earlier. Earlier, they don't have that much of launch pad. They're just relying on running and gunning, using those blue walls just to get close to the clock tower. But now they have a launch pad. Given an opportunity to run against an opponent or information to go against an opponent in specific areas in Solara, then they would be just jumping in there. But there's a few things that they need to work on. Those slide rails will light up, and they would be anticipated. So what they need to capitalize is a third party surprise factor. If they can pull it off, then they can get a lot more in eliminations.
Yep, you want to be the third party. You do not want to get third party. Checking out the overall standings here. Again, CLTGG has been making a steady climb. I expected them to hit the 20 points in the previous match, but they faltered. But it's fine because they're now just 10 points away from overtaking 90 Spaghetti Esports on that #1 spot. How's that?
Yeah, 10 points is easy peasy. Unless you get eliminated early, you have to wait for another day to make that happen. But for the rest of the squad, I'm still looking, getting my eyes on DZ Esports. So from 12 now onto the 8. So I'm 1 spot off. That's the 4th spot that they need to move up, and Solara is a good chance for them to really recover. But I'm still waiting for MiaCorp to really move up. I don't know, hiding strats or just no strats at all. But hopefully MiaCorp can make this work.
Maybe they're nervous, man. Maybe Paris EWC is getting a little bit too real, and they're starting to panic already. MiaCorp, you better get your game sorted out. I'm actually looking forward to seeing USA, really step it up on the EWC stage later on, because we have had many opportunities in the past, but usually the new regions that are added onto the global stage don't make that much of noise, right?
Yeah.
They fizzle out too early. I mean, if you've got a group stage jitters or knockout stage jitters, imagine Esports World Cup LAN event stage jitters. Yeah. You need a little bit of experience on these LAN events for sure before you can build up enough confidence. But if MiaCorp can just be that squad that comes out of the gate bursting with the confidence, with the rotations, with the eliminations on the battlefield, man, they will put the world on notice for sure.
Exactly. I mean, I do resonate with what you mentioned. Some of the teams that are being introduced in there, especially for the new regions and the second EWC from last year, they were performing. We were seeing some of the top dogs in there showing up. But it's just unfortunate that they couldn't survive. They couldn't bring themselves up to head into the grand finals. MiaCorp has that opportunity to slowly build that up. Just like watch out for the top dogs. Watch out in the point wherein, yes, you can avoid them, but in some other factors, you can also you also know how to deal with them, because it's not easy once you get to the global stage. So, though that's a lot on their mind, a lot of pressure for MiaCorp right now, but we're just laying it in there for them to be prepared.
Absolutely. And fun fact, we are almost on the spot for our 12th match. 11 games have concluded so far, and we have 11 individual or 11 unique Booyah winners. Not a single squad has scored 2 Booyah so far. How insane is that? 11 games in. We don't have a clear dominant run. That's insane, right? And on top of that, you have got teams who are like MiaCorp, who are expected to do really well, and MiaCorp does not have a single Booyah. So MiaCorp, can we please have one game where we see the representatives of USA just popping off here, man, just setting the stage up great before we head to Paris. Of course, they've got many more opportunities to do so. I don't think Mia's going to get eliminated before we move on to the next stage or even the grand finals. But yeah, they're making me wait too long.
I don't know. I mean, they might disappoint for this season, because I'm expecting that they won't disappoint on EWC. But let's see, though. Solara is a different kind of a map overall. It is something that we don't expect them to really, how to say, conquer that easy. But no, there's a potential for that to happen. As a flight is now about to set off. Teams are heading from Waterfall, going into southern east side of the map. We'll just have to find out, though, where everyone will be landing, as we've seen Riders Club being taken by both Fisher Tiger and MiaCorp, and it's not looking good again for Fisher Tiger.
Every time I see Riders Club, I just remember Riders on the Storm. Fisher Tiger. Fisher Tiger about to get fished out again, man. I just asked Mia to wake up. And Fisher Tiger's like, we will help them. No, Fisher Tiger, no. Nix. Stallion dash. Oh, finds an easy one. Turns around a little too early. Q-Thai will be able to punish. But Fisher Tiger down by 2 players already. Casby looking for the pickup. M590 pulls out the time turner. Premature. And he might just be punished for that. And indeed, he will be. Biblix just stepping on in with the VSK. One final survivor for Fisher Tiger. Is far away. Far enough to run. Please run.
Go ahead and run. Now, one thing that is decision needs to be done. Would it be a revive or that hit list? Well, I guess it's a revive. MiaCorp would be prioritizing. Because if you want to end the opponent, you know you've countered already the elimination. So you might have prioritized first on a hit list, wait for a few more coins, because there's not so much of contention in Riders Club. But compared to what we're seeing here in the hub, wherein even Flash could find it. I guess that's the reason why they didn't waste the coin on the hit list. They know exactly where he's going.
Yes, like, where can he run, man? Just right here. You didn't run quick enough, all right? Solara, slide rails, nothing used. Fisher Tiger, early exit. Man, I feel bad for Fisher Tiger. But Fisher Tiger needs to understand that they are blessed with a great boon for us to see them back-to-back seasons. They're a good team. They just need to shape up some stuff here. They probably don't have a coach or analyst. If they do, I feel really bad for saying that. But they probably don't, based on how they're playing. I just think that there's a little bit more time, a little bit more homework, and they should be lethal out there on the battlefield. ZMF, O1 Esports, even O1 Esports not looking too great in this season. ZMF, very aggressive in a couple of days. Just have slowed things down. The UAV light way to be pulled out here. UCL finding Dex. Beautiful trade coming on through. They instantly get to him. The rest of the ZMF players a tad bit too far. Here comes Kevin though with a mini Uzi.
Well, that's the thing. You use what you have. Now, ZMF in trouble right now. O1 is the one who has been knocking on their doors right now when ZMF thought that they can take advantage. Now, the pickup can be, or the execution can be done, but Loix Bao just beat him to it. I think he was just trying to hide out, making sure that he's not seen, put up the glue wall, and then go for the execution. But O1 is not waiting. Now let's see if they will be able to bring back their teammates. But on the other side, Crazy Mind will be taken down. It's QE who managed to do so.
Oh my goodness. QE, great fight from them. But ZMF earlier on in that battle, I definitely have big questions, man. Obviously not the best decisions made, but at least not an early end for the squad. O1 Esports as well in that situation. Of course, we'll put a pause on that statement. Ruthless finding themselves a stray Van Dyke. Where's the rest of Nova?
I don't know, probably
there
became
they are.
supernova, exploded. Now, Crazy. No, Crazy Mind is not here, but Crazy's one of the one of the players who managed to take them down. But Celtic Gaming, again, they're a little bit pissed off with what happened earlier. They want to eliminate anyone in their path. They want to catch up in the points, and they're doing so quite well. But Hugo has been taken down on the other side, and this is what happened, though. If you try to revive your teammates to go for that isolation, then you would be taken down, especially with the aggressive squad who's hunting a lot of bloods right here from DZ.
Yeah, Celtic Gaming turned Salty Gaming after the previous game. Problem is, it was DZ that took down one of their players, so probably not the fight you want to take, unless you want an early revenge, of course. Mia Corp, easy shots, Royal Tigers, once again hunting these Tigers. Savagery, they got to stop. Unless, of course, the Royal Tigers change their names. Tyson, headshot, Joshua taken out of the equation. I want to watch that fight.
Well, let's see, though. Okay, on the other side, a flurry of feed coming in. It's either elimination or revive right now. Ruthless will just be hanging back in studios. Royal Tigers skinned and made as a rug. Mia right now is trying to run happy at this point, but we're also seeing Celtic going against a DZ, but it's only Vegas who has been knocked down and quickly been revived. Celtic Gaming needs to run, though they are the elimination leader right now. They are losing in a couple of players.
At least we've watched the final elimination, man. Mia. We were saying Mia should get back in here, and Mia's like, okay, fine. Stand back up. 8 eliminations strong. Hugo! Brother standing on a boulder looking for the shot, but he got punished. And Celtic with a early exit off of this map after picking up 8 eliminations. Not looking solid. Can you believe it? 5 minutes in, and we've already shrugged off 5 squads.
That's quick. They want to end it early right now. I'm not saying that they're tied because both groups will be playing 3 matches, but I guess they want to practice more. They want to do more away from all this aggressive squad. But from those aggressive squad, I think we're seeing more aggression coming from Nova right now. A little bit of revenge mission on DZ and Nova.
Absolutely, man. King Goat kind of getting a little too aggressive. Stepping right up in front. Van Dijk with the Groza, just praying and praying. Not having to worry about those bullets at all. King Goat with a Car 98 has a great spot. DZ trying to reposition. Opportunity for those snipes. Car 98 needs to hit, and it does. T-Kill finds Alex, puts him on the ground, but a pickup can still be done here by DZ to recover. They're not going to bother. They bring him back in through the revival instead. DZ's now once again a full squad. Nova, do not go chasing yet. Let them survive.
Go chasing waterfalls.
Or even DZ players who are trying to revive. ZMF, 3 players down. Oh man, they are back in it. And it looks like the battle outside the circle is going to continue for a little while. DZ can still recover here. Many of their players are still rich. Nova goes in for the hunt, about to be punished. 2 players down on the ground. Van Dijk picked right back up. T-Kill now, sprayed down. Hayate scrambling to the vending machine, pulling in the revivals. And DZ just turning the tables on them. Enid! And then doesn't find the spot.
This is fine at all. Now let's see though. Vegas! First shot! He's been jumping like a bunny right there and still managed to go for the finisher. Would be Hayate. Now, they need to be careful right now because not only will they need to go against the blue, they need to wait for each other's movement. There goes a shot from above like someone who really defies gravity at this point. And Nova is back. A full squad is back in play with 6 elimination.
I told Nova not to go in for the chase. Allow DZ to survive. They still try to force the issue. Almost got annihilated. But thanks to the vending machine being right there, the revivals got brought back in. They had the numbers stacked right back up. DZ couldn't get the revivals in time. But one guy still managed to sneak out. So DZ's should be back in here for revenge in a little bit. UAV sent out by Flash. They've got information on O1 Esports, and they're taking the fight straight up against them. O1 responds by pulling in the lightning zone with the bolt maker. It's a 3v4 on the front lines here for Flash. Made 3v3 by Mateos and his Winchester. Can they connect fully? Des responds, flanking, has the M79. Big fight here. Flash should be able to finish them off, and they do.
Oh my goodness. With the help, or even with the help of that lightning zone, or that Bolt Maker, they couldn't take down Flash. And really loving that shot as well, but it's not that they group up together and only given a chance for the opportunity for the snipers to make those hits. Thus, it makes it difficult for one to really survive that fight. Flash capitalized best on that, and they're still in windmill where the next phase of circle is. So they can just wait, regroup, and just anticipate who's going in against them.
DZ is not pulling in the right records here for the most revivals. But Mia on fire, 12 eliminations. Talk about waking up. Thank you very much, Mia. I was falling asleep. And we didn't mention Mia's got no booyahs just yet, so maybe this is that game. And we will have 12 individual, 12 unique booyah holders within the first 2 days. That would be a ridiculous stat to hold after 2 days of play. I mean, clearly a lot of good squads in here, but also a lack of consistency for some of the dominators in terms of ripping the booyah away.
Let's see now. I mean, Mia distancing themselves from the rest of the squad. Funfair, though, being occupied by DC, who managed to pull back their teammates. Now, it's Ruthless that they need to deal with. Stealth bites being used. Calvin has no visuals yet against the opponent of Ruthless, and he might be boxed in. This might be trouble for Calvin. Lucas has been taken down, and it is Luisito who managed to do it. Coyote on the flank, and we've seen how the Coyote survive, and there goes a backstab coming from XPili7. MVP from the Booyah coming from Ruthless earlier, but they have 8 points already and even can bring down DZ. So I don't know if DZ's lost their energy after 2 back-to-back matches wherein they were on fire, but they need to light that flame once again.
Yeah, Mia on fire once again, this time engaging up against Nova. I believe 2 eliminations picked up the team, and they're doing very well in this lobby. But DZ, on the other hand, have to depend on those vending machines yet again in the engagement up against Ruthless. Ruthless staying true to their name in that engagement, but they'll have to back away. Smart play on the Dinoculus. They get to scan out one player as they quickly reposition. Next compound is clear. If DZ goes in for the chase, this is going to be quite silly because Ruthless will be able to take this fight.
Yeah, one thing though, I mean, quite surprisingly, Ruthless released that UAV, that Dinocular, spots out one player for Nova. And they were thinking that's what's coming from DZ. So they're just going for the chase right there, thinking that, oh, right, we need to eliminate this squad. Not knowing that the ones from DZ is just right behind him. I don't know what the plan is for the final player, but they might be able to go for a revive and probably stay safe because they're losing plenty of time right now. 3rd to the 4th phase of the circle, not so much of space to move with.
Ruthless versus Flash should not happen because of how big this compound is and the next zone. Both should be able to be comfy in their own defensive spots. The rest of them making the rotations though. Van Dijk, oh man, hunting for a vending machine, still too far away from it. Has to be one with nature, and he does that perfectly. The tree giving him cover. Hayate, on the other hand, has not learned to love Mother Nature just yet. We are forcing him behind cover, and nobody's finding those AWM shots. Everyone's got a Woodpecker, Kar 98. No AWM to finish the job.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting tough right now. Well, I guess it does the job in terms of spamming those shots. What you need is quick reloads, quick, I would say, bolts in there on those shots compared to the AWM wherein you need to wait, and it doesn't give you that much time. Most of the time we see the Woodpecker, we see the AC-80, only a couple or if not one AWM, but it's just unfortunate. It is Team Nova managed to spot out the final player of DZ, but they need to be careful because Ruthless is just next to them. T-Kill will be definitely eliminated with that M79 as well as Kar 98 from far.
Yeah, I mean, overkill, 2 players. They just wanted the point. I can't blame them. Ruthless looking to collect on this fight. Mia just taking shots at each other. Okay, all right.
Great practice.
Looking to keep their reaction time sharp here. Ruthless, great rotation round with the mini launcher, and now they have a great position on this map to sneak into this next circle without really being detected by Flash. Whoa, on the windmill. Rafer gets up to the top. with the mini launcher. Very smart positioning here for the sniper of the Ruthless squad.
Oh, let's see though. I mean, Rafer does have a good position, but he can easily be spotted by the other teams as well, especially for those snipers from the other side. It's Flash who might have a clear view on them, especially Simba, who's in there. Let's see, he got shot at, but not a headshot. He could have taken the time to aim. He could have managed to get that in already instead of risking it. But MiaCorp right now, they got close, but I think they're anticipating that they can need that Monstruck to either move or use it to cover. They have a couple of players from Nova right next to them, and I think Nova has lost a couple of players as well outside of the zone, so that's unfortunate for them. They will not be getting in the full squad.
Mia cannot lose sight of the importance here, finding this next circle, not being tagged up by this blue zone. Nova understanding the same is going to be important for them. They avoid confrontation with Mia for the time being, rotating right behind Ruthless. Now we've got 4 squads in this final zone. Before it starts to move, somebody has to take some sort of action here, or else it's going to be absolute chaos in a little bit once the circle starts to reposition. And Mia is actually camping on the vending machine. This is a big advantage, but the circle's going to drag them away.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to shift up north right here, and this is what forces a Flash to go in against Ruthless, but Coyote dealing with them only with Drogon. And as everyone is just watching, Simba try to go, but didn't anticipate it. Rafer coming from above. That's the shot that Rafer has been waiting for, and Flash has been taken out. No, they lost one of the players. Was a good spot from Rafer right now, but he might need to move in a bit. That shift would push them down, and MiaCorp is already on the headway to go and take that spot.
Nova? Late revival, Hayate. Smart play. And now the revive players can actually take position where the circle is about to move. This is going to be a great big advantage, but nope, they are just going to regroup together and give that advantage away. A little bit too out in the open. Van Dijk is going to get shot down to the ground with the M590. Nyx looking for more players on the side of Nova. Hayate just spotted. Kappa stepping out. M590, they take each other out, but Mia has got the backup here. Smart recovery. 17 elimination strong now for the squad.
Oh, Rafer still on shot, but prioritize on that revive. Will he be able to do it? Will he be able to finish it off? And there you have it. Mia right now, still a full squad. They managed to revive themselves despite the pressure coming from the zone as well as Rafer from above. But this is where trouble comes in for Ruthless. One of their players will need to jump, and I don't think he have enough of that HP. And there you go, almost being taken out.
Yeah, nobody shot him out of the skies. Rafer was jumping behind the windmill. Smartly executed there. Doesn't really break his legs. Just probably sprains his ankle. Limps away, but still alive to fight another battle. Nova, on the other hand, just playing game of survival here, tiptoeing around these two squads. Could annihilate on sight. Mia, on the other hand, gearing up for this booyah. They're going to stay at the very edge of the circle. Smart play by Mia.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they have a good shot against Lumisito! And there you have it. Just a couple of shots, and they have ended King Goat right now, barricading himself. Just a few inches in there for him to make that M50 shot, but the time turner will give him a chance to recover. XP right now, tagged. He does have the Dreki. He knows exactly, but he jumps out a little bit too early. Then spot out. The ones is trying to chase him down, and he was forced to move in, but Mia has already dealt with him. Now it's a 3v1, and you asked for it, AJ. Mia is here to grab that booyah.
Oh, thank God, Mia. I really was waiting for this. And now one final player from the side of Ruthless. But Mia about to show him exactly who is Ruthless. Rafer with the VSK, unable to do much. Biblix just laying out a maze of glue walls here just so that they can sneak up to him. So that his VSK is going to be absolutely useless in a CQC. Biblix now flanking towards the left, gets tagged up with the VSK, AWM, and you can see the instant heal coming on through. They want to show you that they are serious. Tags up Rafer, one shot, two shot. Biblix gets the final elimination, and Mia is the 12th unique booyah holder in our run so far.
There's nothing in the rule book that you cannot go for a booyah, 2 booyahs in this group stage, though. So I know we have a unique active skill, but there's no unique booyah takers out here. So go ahead and take it back, like back to back or most consecutive days. But I'm just loving that Mia managed to pop off this side. But I don't know.
Yes.
It might be map specific. No one anticipated that move coming from Mia, or they're just motivated right now to move up the ranks because they're just going low. If I'm not mistaken, they were at the 11th spot, or if not 9th spot before we ended that previous game, or after we ended that previous game.
2 games ago, they were in the 11th spot. They just climbed up a little bit. But from the 9th place, I think they should be able to contend now for that number 1 spot, right? Because Celtic GG, they got taken out a little bit too early. Obviously, they were looking to replace 90 Piketty at the top. And as far as Mia Corp is concerned, they got more than 20 eliminations, plus they walked away with a booyah. So that's easily 32 points minimum for the squad. And that's definitely going to launch them up towards the top of the leaderboard. Crazy stuff. You got to appreciate it. And you know, this is the question that we have been asking. Mia, can you go back-to-back to really show us that USA stands a good chance on that EWC stage at Paris very soon? And looks like Mia just wants to say a big YES as an answer to that question. Of course, what they say is going to be absolutely useless. What they show us is going to be what we appreciate, Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like great improvement coming from previous season. I know it's just like from our perspective, especially from their opponent's perspective from the spring season, it was stolen away from them. But that's the rule of the game. The champion rush gives you that opportunity to steal the champion away from you. But this time in the summer, they have a chance to either dominate this lobby, this game, all teams in grand finals from the get-go, or do the same thing all over again. Be tactical, be able to just catch up enough in the perfect timing and then grab the booyah once needed. But it's still up to them to make it work, and hopefully they're not pulling up so much of those plans that can be used against them once they get into the EWC.
Yeah, just so much of chaos all around the battlefield for sure. But towards the end, I think teams that were supposed to perform definitely did wake up in the competition. Even DZ Esports, we were expecting them to pick up some decent points. Placement-wise, they were not too bad. They did manage to pick up 6 eliminations. Could have been better, but they obviously are just focused on climbing the leaderboard a little bit more. Ruthless, we definitely started to miss Ruthless a little bit because they weren't really showing up as much as they did yesterday. But I think this final game was a good showdown for Ruthless, where they sneaked into that final circle once again. Decent number of points. Could have really messed up the chances of Mia here if it wasn't for some fantastic snipes out of their squad.
Yeah, I do agree. Well, let's see though on how well Ruthless will be moving up in the leaderboard. That 9th place, or that 9 points out of 2nd place, can add up to some missed opportunities that they have earlier. If I'm mistaken, the final point that they had after the previous round was 71, and with that, they can move up against QE. Not definitely against Mia Corp, because they're just next to each other when it comes to the leaderboard. So we'll have to find out who would be the MVP as well into this team, into that spot. It's next 7 coming from Mia Corp. 5 eliminations, 2 headshots, 8 assists, and 2,801 on damage.
Yeah, very clearly looking for that aggressive setup. He is the rusher with the M590. Oscar, the Valiant Dash, just with the surprise element and the capability to bring the encounter when he wants to get into the engagement. Has the J-Beeps for the extra layer of defense. Nikita to help him with those reloads and stop, or at least make the players just face a little bit more of a detriment when it comes to recovering. And no one can deny that Joseph is very handy when someone walks in with that A124. It's a head-to-head between Biblix as well as Refe. The sniper versus sniper head-to-head still has Biblix on top with the 9 eliminations. Neither one has got those headshots this time around. Refe just, with the more attempts through those shots, just unable to find the finisher.
Yeah, I mean, if Rafer had waited a few more seconds on that one Flash Gaming, he might have that number 1 on that headshot. But it's great positioning as well. That I commend Rafer in there, like taking that windmill, specifically that ledge on the windmill, and even the drop that he made. It's just unfortunate that Ruthless didn't have enough firepower and manpower to support him all throughout with that rotation, and Mia Corp just take advantage of the numbers that they have against this team of Ruthless. But still, they are in there in 2nd place. They have put in a few of those points, and Mia Corp 21 elimination out of that game, out of the 85 total elimination that we have from that match.
That's a beautiful stat to pick up here. if you are a squad looking to dominate, looking to represent, looking to just get some warm-up before the Esports World Cup. MegaCorp doing really well because this is such a different complexion, and I'm really glad to see this version of them because it's very clear that they were just messing around in their past matches. We had this big question: did MegaCorp really just fall off the ladder after they became champions? Answer is no. They're holding back because they know it's not worth going all out for, right? Even in the previous season, you didn't really see them go all out, but they put on a decent enough performance for us to get excited and then walk away with a trophy. And it's a squad that does just enough because they don't need to overexert themselves, and they'll still walk away with something good.
And I guess with the format that we have, now that you mentioned it, with the format that we have in the Free Fire Esports right now, we're not asking for just enough though, but it gives an opportunity for those team who doesn't want to show that much, who doesn't want to be that aggressive, to still bring in just enough to get into the Grand Finals. And where it really matters, when it really matters, Grand Finals, if you get those activation of the Champion Rich condition as well as that Booyah, then that's where the not enough is definitely not enough.
Absolutely, man. When it's not enough, we'll find out once they get to the Esports World Cup. I want to take a look at the overall leaderboard in a little bit as well, because quite a bit of movements would have happened. We did see quite the unusual squads survive towards that final circle this time round, right? Ruthless, not very consistent, but whenever they do get deep into these circles, you do see them carrying some decent points on them, which just means that this team just needs to work on their consistency. Overall grand scheme of things, Ruthless actually looking like a decent team to not just make it into knockouts, but into the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, from 63 in the 10th place, they were pushed down because a lot of teams has been doing a lot more from above them. But let's see though where they place themselves in this current standings. Nova Esports, well, I couldn't blame them. They did well earlier, just seconding 90 carry with 103 points, and now they were given the opportunity in the final match, and they climbed the ranks on the #1 spot.
Man, Nova definitely climbed well here. When you look at where they sit on the overall leaderboard, this definitely brings up some questions for me, but overall stats, 508 eliminations, and DZ Esports made everyone dizzy with what they could do out there. 46 eliminations in 3 matches is not too bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look though on where they came from. From after the first match, they were on the second half, and then they move in on the 12th spot, and then they move up. Now they are currently on the 5th place just because of elimination and that one Booyah that they managed to pull off. So DZ, again, there's no question that they have Lucas High. They have great rosters on them. And I want to see more out of DZ. Sorry, MegaCorp. I know we were motivating you earlier, but DZ showing this kind of gameplay, I'm pretty sure they can beat up anyone, even Zeus Esports.
Absolutely, man. Celtic GG doing well as well to climb up the leaderboard. I think, although Hugo has not been in his best form so far as the sniper of the squad, they're still getting it done, which means we have hugely improved what Celtic GG can do on the front lines without Hugo's supremacy, without Hugo constantly having to, revive everyone. So this is fantastic to see out of the squad. Overall, I think the show is just showing us that we don't have a squad that can totally dominate the competition just yet. 12 games in, 12 unique Booyah holders. That in itself is enough to explain the kind of situation we are dealing with here at the Free Fire World Series USA. The day has been fantastic, but this is not all you will get for the week. We still have got the action for Sunday. We still have tomorrow. Same time, same place. Neptune and I are definitely looking forward to seeing you guys there. I wonder if or not we're going to get our very first double Booyah tomorrow, or it'll still be the unique show. We're going to sign off now. You guys take care. We'll catch you all tomorrow.
Focus, aim, ready. Focus, aim, ready. Speed up in the race, fall back, no chase. Turn up with the bass, gotta level up your game. Looking for the fight. focus. Aim